Let's get nasty here on a Friday afternoon. Jamie Rivers here, back from sunny FLA, joined by our guy Andrew Marsh and Brad Thompson, BT in the house.
Drove over from sunny O'Fallon, Illinois. What's happening, Jamie? How we doing?
Not much. I come back today, and I'm excited to be back. It's holiday time and all that, but I can't lie, BT.
I'm not excited to be. You were in Florida.
Being in South Florida for the last couple days, being able to get up, go for a run on the beach, get a little suntan, it didn't suck.
Yeah, I don't know about the suntan thing, but overall, everything else sounds good about it. This is one that I've been trying to kick around in our household. Now, it's harder with Christmas time because younger kids, I got 10 and 7, you want presents under the tree when you get up. I understand that, even though, Santa knows when you're somewhere else, but neither here nor there. But I've been talking about the destination thing. It's like, hey, let's do all-inclusive somewhere and do the holidays there. It is not hit yet. I'm gonna have it happen for Thanksgiving. That'll be let's ease into it and see how everybody isn't in the kitchen for 20 hours trying to cook meals. I'm going to get it to happen.
So you're from Vegas, and I was just in Vegas not too long ago, and Las Vegas does the holidays right. Obviously, they do everything right. They got the lights and all that stuff, but it was a different feel a little bit. It felt like
it's not cold.
Yeah, it felt like festive, but not like the holidays.
Jamie, it's one of the weirdest things that I've transitioned to, and I've lived here in the greater St. Louis area for quite some time now. Bought our house in 2009, but lived here full time since 2007. God, it's getting old. It's getting old stuff.
No, you're not. You look great.
No, you're old. So
that's a good point.
There's always a bar.
When
we'll
are we
find
going?
it. But the concept of you got to play with everything that you received for Christmas. You got a bike, you're going to go ride the bike. You got a basketball hoop, you're going to put it up and you're going to go play basketball. Now it's like, hey, here's this hoop, see you in a few months. And have fun with that. A little different out here. It's all right, though.
Yeah, it's fine. Sometimes it just is what it is. Kind of like the Cardinals not getting Yamamoto.
What?
Yeah.
That transition.
It is what it is.
That's what I wanted for Christmas. I wanted Yamamoto. You're telling me that I can't get Yamamoto?
There's only one Yamamoto. This isn't like a PS5 where everybody's able to get one. You know what I mean? Where it's just like,
you
hey,
get
it's
a Yamamoto.
And you get one, too. There's only one of those. By the way, we were kicking this around before. You're all St. Louis sports fans that are listening right now. Christmas morning, okay? Santa brings you a gift. Now, this isn't a physical gift under the tree. Not going to find a Yamamoto sitting there with a bow on. I don't know what he's wearing in your dreams. But
only a bow.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
But what do you want under the tree as a St. Louis sports fan? What do you want? Now, it's not just Cardinals. Could be Blues. Could be City. Could be a football team. I don't know what you want as a sports fan, but you can always leave us a mic drop on the 101 ESPN app. Crazy easy to do. What do you, the sports fan, want under the tree?
Yeah, we'll hit those all show long. Every time we get one, we'll play it, we'll talk about it, we'll discuss it.
The creepier the better, too. It's Friday. I saw like 4 people here.
Could actually be anything, really. We'll say it's sports related. However,
it's like that doesn't feel sports related, but I guess you could wear it there.
If we can tie it back to sports in some way, we're good with it.
We'll strap it on somehow.
We sure will.
We will.
Speaking of getting things done,
okay, $325 million deal.
That's it, huh?
So the early estimates.
He hasn't pitched one major league batter. What if this guy sucks?
He is the. Well, you talk about swing and a miss. have you ever done that? Maybe have a couple of cocktails on Amazon. You're like, this can't miss. This is going to be the best thing ever.
Did you? You've heard the bearskin rug story?
Oh, yes.
That literally happened to me 2 winters ago. I'm sitting there, I'm a couple of bourbons deep, the fireplace is on, and I'm feeling like romantic.
Of course, get
I'm
one
like,
of those.
Who doesn't want a bearskin rug?
Yeah.
Fire it up on Amazon and look at it. I'm like, this is great. I didn't get the one with the head on it because I thought that was a little
creepy,
much.
Yeah.
And I had visions of, glass of wine on the bearskin rug.
Yeah, perfect.
Me and the girlfriend. It arrived, man, and it was underwhelming.
Buyer's remorse.
It was,
It didn't look
anything like it was supposed to. I laid it out on the floor. My girlfriend looked at it and wondered what the hell it was.
We're keeping it.
And she's like, there's no way I'm sitting on that thing. Okay. And then the dog went over and laid on it. Became a dog bed for like 6 months.
That's a fancy one.
Yeah.
Now, they're hoping that Yamamoto doesn't turn out to be a dog bed, but 25-year-old won the Cy Young, their version of it in Japan, 3 years in a row. The guy was, he was as close as you were going to get to a you don't know commodity to a can't miss, right?
Yeah.
Like you knew what he did over there, and especially the age is the thing. But he surpassed a lot of the numbers that people were talking. Like, I remember the initial talks for Yamamoto were like, hey, maybe he gets over 200 million.
Yes.
That could happen. 7-year deal, maybe 205, 210, maybe he tickles that. Well, he blew that apart with a 12-year, $325 million deal. Plus, Jamie, as you know, there's the posting fee of over $50 million that ends up going to his team. I believe it was the Oryx Buffaloes. So it's, unreal landing spot in LA. And I got to tell you this, I never really expected, I don't know if how many fans did, Yamamoto to be a Cardinal.
What?
Okay? And if you did expect that,
Mo promised us.
I don't think he did.
Kind of.
If you better find the quote.
He was using Lars Nootbaar to
I don't
tell
think
us.
he ever even talked about Lars Nootbaar being from. He probably stayed away from it. Somebody probably asked him like straight up, like, "Hey, Lars and Yamamoto are friends, right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm not sure. I have no idea."
Damn you,
if
Lars
the two of them
Nootbaar.
are
You didn't
friends.
do a good enough job. I
Awful
blame him.
recruiting.
I blame him.
Look, in an age
Trade
of look, we're paying college kids big time money. We can't get this guy enough cheese under. So the landing spot made sense, and especially after the Dodgers, Jamie ended up signing Shohei Ohtani to the deal that they did, but knowing that they had the backloaded money that they did, or all of the $68 million deferred for 10 years, you knew they had some more flexibility. I haven't seen every bit of this contract yet, but I understand that some of Yamamoto's money is backloaded, but not deferred. So he'll have the big paydays at the end of it.
$50 million signing bonus.
You saw it coming. You saw this one coming. So back to the idea, right? If you're a Cardinal fan and you thought that they were going to have a chance to sign him, you're disappointed for sure, because you had a chance to get an electric young arm. We'll find out what he looks like in the next dozen years, but he's going to be an impact player. But for me now, as just a baseball fan, let's take the Cardinal hat off for a second, which is very hard. It's usually affixed firmly with my Cardinal red glasses.
It's a great hat.
As a baseball fan, Jamie, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about not just the player, and I don't care
Brad,
the
are you
amount of money.
excited about calling the first series against the
Yes,
Dodgers?
dude. I am hoping
Are you,
that.
though?
Yeah, it's what this is
Really?
going to be. It's going to be LA. It's going to be Jimmy Ballgame, or it's dang it, man. But yeah, of course. How could you not be pumped up about your first series? And for those that don't know, the Cardinals do open in LA with Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Been working on that for the last second.
That's an NLCS preview.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah, sure
could
it is.
be. No, I like the way that you're thinking, Marshy. Didn't like the way that you tabled yours.
I'm fine. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you said it like I do.
Did I?
Like, I think they get a chance. Yeah, I don't know. But it's going to be really exciting for the baseball fan in me, and this is where, I think it's good for the game of baseball that he landed where he did, and I know that people are going to say, well, look, he's West Coast, East Coast would be better, which New York could have been better potentially for eyes on the product.
Yeah.
But I told you this in the office, Jamie. I'm not the biggest NBA fan. When Golden State built their dream team, I would tune in for that. That's exactly what the Dodgers have built here.
Yeah.
So the eyes, if the Dodgers are going to be on TV, you're going to be watching them. You're going to find a way to put your eyes on Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Wow.
You're going to figure out a way to watch this because you got a chance to watch something special. Now, the beauty of it in the game of baseball, I don't think it's as easy as it is, and easy is the wrong term. Okay, forgive the term. But to look at a team on paper and say that's going to win a World Series. No, you have the gauntlet of the postseason that you still have to go through.
Oh, yeah.
You run into a couple of good pitchers. All of a sudden, Yamamoto and company are like, what happened? Oh, we get to go golf again a little bit early. But for the ride, man, I want to see it. Were you okay with it being the Dodgers, or did you think you want to spread the wealth out a little bit?
I was, and I am still kind of indifferent to it. I wasn't shocked. That's the thing with them getting Ohtani and then seeing the contract breakdown for Shohei Ohtani. I almost felt like it was inevitable that Yamamoto was headed there. You know, he had talked before through his agent about wanting to go somewhere where they had a history of winning. Then he wanted to go somewhere where they had another Japanese player. Well, all of that in sequence kind of happened where the Dodgers have a winning history with that organization. Then all of a sudden, Shohei Ohtani signs there.
And they have a history of money.
And they have a history of money. Now they have a Japanese player. And now, you know, at that point, I was like, okay, yeah. When I saw the Twitter feed or whatever, I was like, I'm not surprised. I mean, this is what I kind of expected. I was kind of hoping that someone would come off the top rope at the last minute and scoop them up, but I didn't really feel like that was going to happen.
Now, there are some Cardinal fans that might be upset. However, there's one particular lady that we love that really isn't all that upset.
Oh, boy.
I don't blame anybody for not wanting to sign a pitcher for more than 5 years, because with the way that they're making them pitch now, with seeing how hard they can throw, every one of them are going to have bad arms before the 7 to 12 years is over with. And that's just money thrown away. These salaries are just ridiculous now, and their players aren't worth what they're paying, and those long contracts are just nuts.
Well, that's well said, Janet.
No,
BT, what do you think?
You know, in your dozen years that you signed this contract for Yamamoto, you're buying a surgery in there somewhere. But that is kind of the price of doing business. She's not wrong. Like, it is crazy to link yourself to that many years. And I'm not doing the Cardinal thing where I'm saying, I'd rather have Sonny Gray than Yamamoto.
Yeah, don't say that.
I would rather have Sonny Gray's contract than Yamamoto's, and then hope to be able to continue to build pitching, sustainable pitching that you have within your organization that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you can go out and spend on the other things. But no, she is right. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out what it looks like for Yamamoto. And the beauty of baseball again here, Jamie, is he's 5'10", 178 pounds, and a hell of a lot heavier when he has his wallet on him.
Yeah, he sure is. That's BT. He's with us for the entire show today. We got Andrew Marsh on the dials. Jamie Rivers here. We're going to talk Blues when we get back. And why is this team a winning team only when they get out to the lead? We'll discuss that. We come back here on 101 ESPN. Christmas is just a few days away, and if I can offer you a suggestion for something really, really special to buy for a loved one in your household or maybe even a loved one in your family, check out Sound Story. Get over there, buy a gift card at mysoundstory.com. Sound Story is a professionally produced hour-long conversation in which you or one of your loved ones gets interviewed by our very own Randy Kerber, Tim McKernan, or Anthony Stalter. And this conversation can be anything you want it to be, whether it's growing up in a certain area, maybe a city or a state, to going to college. Maybe you have a family member that was involved in the military. All of that stuff is priceless to your young ones, your grandchildren, and everybody else to come in your family, because these digitally recorded conversations are kept forever. You have them forever, and it's a perfect gift for somebody at holiday season. And right now, you can capitalize by jumping in, going to mysoundstory.com, enter promo code ESPN, get 20% off a gift certificate. Again, that's mysoundstory.com, enter code ESPN. You will absolutely love it. You'll love Sound Story. For you, for them, forever.
straight away. Buchnevich whiffs on a shot. Kyrou's there. He scores! They were chasing a grease pig in the offensive zone, and Kerber put it in the corral. 1-0 Blues, 15-10 to go, second period, as the Blues score first.
Surprise, surprise.
All right, that was Janet as well as Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, here on 101 ESPN, Blues Radio Network.
Real quick, Jamie, is that a common hockeyism?
The grease pig?
Yeah, chasing the grease pig. Because I've heard about that.
I have too.
Late at night. But is that a hockey
areas.
term?
Yeah. No, it really isn't. But kudos to Chris Kerber for making
Sometimes
it.
you got to throw that in there. I mean, Hal Panger would make up stuff and just ended up being his thing.
Yeah.
What the hell's the Nine of Hearts? Nobody knows what the Nine of Hearts is. It's
Maybe
not
it
a real
needs to be
thing.
grease pig. I don't know.
I don't know. You put those two together.
You just never know.
Win's a win.
Marshy, we were talking about Christmas presents and things that people want from the Cardinals, the Blues, or sports team, or anything for that matter. You said, I got a good text, so let's hear it.
From the 314, I want a 10-game St. Louis Blues stretch of games, win or lose, where they play consistent. Just give me 10 games. Give me some hope.
Yeah, Doug Armstrong and Drew Bannister would love the same thing.
And Craig Berube would have enjoyed that.
He sure
as
would
well,
have.
I would think.
Yeah, as so would I, and any Blues fan. That's been the problem.
Yeah, but isn't that exactly what you knew you were going to have this year? Jamie, that's the thing for me that's maddening about the entire thing of Craig Berube being let go, and this is nothing against Drew Bannister. I'm sure Banny's a banner guy. Good people.
He's a good dude. He's a good coach.
Seems like it. He's going to be great. You don't get this opportunity unless you're a good coach, and you don't get it unless you're ready for it, right? So nothing against him. But you knew this season was going to be topsy-turvy. You knew it was going to be a transition. Yet here you are in the middle of a transition, and we're still talking about stuff that just got the last coach fired, who, whether you believe he deserved it or not, and most of St. Louis didn't, one player did. But it is one, Jamie, where I don't understand.
Yeah, that one got me.
What?
That one got me.
What, too?
Welcome back,
At
VT.
least, yeah, no problem. Thank you. I don't understand what I'm supposed to expect. I mean, is this just an effort-based thing that you're looking for night in, night out? Because I'm looking at expectation. And maybe that texter laid it out perfectly because they said no matter win or loss. But isn't that a normal thing anyhow if you just kind of have the ebbs and flows, Jamie?
Yeah, so a lot to kind of break down there. You're right that the expectations for this team is and was pretty much what they are. Now, listening to Doug Armstrong discuss some of the reasons why he felt there needed to be a change, he didn't necessarily ever say it was Craig Berube's fault. He didn't say the coach didn't do the right thing. He just basically said the players aren't bringing it. So what do you do, right, BT? You know this. Like, you can't trade 25 players. You can't fire 25 players.
It's hard. I mean, management doesn't like it. You talk about a headache.
Upon it.
You mean we're pitching all the money? We trust you. Go for it.
So you make a change that you think can help. And going back again to what Army said is, he said, I don't even worry about the result on most nights. I'm worried about what it looks like. And I think that's the thing that people have to wrap their brains around, is that it's not that in a 10-game span, if the Blues are competitive, win 4, lose 2 in overtime, it's how it looks. How are you winning games and how are you losing games? If you're losing games specifically because there's a lack of attention to detail, a lack of effort, a lack of compete, the inconsistencies of your effort, that's not good. And so to the texter's point, yeah, I'd like to see 10-game span where even if you lose, it's a dogfight right to the last buzzer. Guys are still blocking shots. They're hitting guys. They're getting to the front of the net because you don't have the most talented team in the league. You will lose hockey games, but how you lose them, I think, is the bigger thing here, the bigger issue.
I think you're absolutely right. And I think that you hit on one of the biggest, most important things is you don't have the best team. And you knew that coming in. Army knew it coming in. He mentioned it. He had talked about before the season what a successful season looks like. Turns out it actually looks like around where you were sitting when you fired your coach. It is what it is. So obviously there's other things that go into it, Jamie. Neither here nor there. But you have to, when you have a young, inexperienced group, like, you do wonder where do you even set the bar for them? Because, like, the effort could be there. They could be trying something, but they could be dumb at times. Like, young players that make dumb decisions. So is it always going to be easy to see what consistent hockey looks like at this point? Like, I wonder how Drew Bannister is grading his team after each one of these
Yeah,
games.
he's having a tough go, and not in a bad way, because they're 3-1 under Drew Bannister right now.
He's doing a great job, again.
But, you know, it's a very difficult situation for Drew Bannister, because think about this. You've been brought in to replace an icon here.
Yes.
The guy that brought the first Stanley Cup, a guy that everybody in the city of St. Louis would have a beer with. Sit down and have a beer with.
In the history of at least me paying attention, okay, to any sport and a head coach or a manager getting fired, I have never heard of a collective community so against it. It's usually like, fire that bum, we're losing, we're in. He didn't hear any of that when it comes to him.
You really didn't. And so, you know, for the new guy coming in, no matter who it is, even if it was a veteran NHL coach, you're coming in on the heels of something that's difficult to do. And now you've got to try and come in and light the house on fire, because you are being told by the management this team doesn't compete consistent enough. So you've got to come in and you've got to kick the front door in and be like, I'm here.
But wasn't that one of the things where Craig Berube was pushing too hard, wasn't he? Or it's just like, asked for a little bit too much.
It was, I think there's ways of doing it. And I personally love the way that Chief did it. He was very upfront. It was black and white. There was no gray area. Some guys
got to hold their hands nowadays, Jamie.
Some guys don't like that, BT. No matter what sport
I don't want you to tell me what's real. I want you to beat around the bush for a while and then let me come to my own conclusion.
100%. And so I think Drew Bannister coming in, who, for all intents and purposes, the message has been the same. Listening to Drew Bannister coach, listening to him talk to the media, talking to him personally, the message is the same. Yeah. And now he's been taxed with being the firm hand. And, you know, he benches Pavel Buchnevich for 12 and a half minutes the other night for taking 3 penalties. Like, that's a
loved it, by
ballsy
the way.
move, though. Think about that.
It worked out.
Bucci's one of your best 200-foot players. He's one of the guys that you very seldom...
Which, by the way, is something that you should be, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
But he's someone that you don't worry about as far as showing up every night. You benched him. The repercussions of that could have gone sideways. They could.
But it's a win-win for him, right? Because if you're Drew Bannister, it's an opportunity that everybody wants, and he's done it at the highest level as a player, and done it now as the highest level as a coach, getting to the NHL. But it's still on an interim basis, and you do have to do something. Like, you have to make a mark when you get an opportunity like this, and I think that for him and pun, right? But that's a banner moment for him where he got to go out there and say, I'm doing this, and let's see what happens. And then Buch responds with 3 points.
That line catches fire against the Panthers. Bucci comes back with, 3 points? I mean, he has
and says all the right things, too.
Says, well, I sucked. We had him on that post game, me and JK, and, you know, we had to ask him about the benching and whatnot. He's like, yeah, that's fine. You know, I had 3 penalties. I sucked. It's like, okay, all right. So it worked out. Perfect. But again, just going back to it, and we'll dive into the Blues scoring first and only winning basically when they score first. We'll dive into that again later on in the show. But for Drew Bannister, it's been a good start for him. I think it was a tough position to be in. I think he's handling it pretty darn well, all things considered. He's BT. I'm Jamie Rivers. That's Andrew Marsh. This is The Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. When we come back, we're going to talk about if 2 players are worth $1 billion right here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues pick up a victory over the Panthers last night, 4-1 the final. They'll be back in action tomorrow taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We'll talk later with voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network, Chris Kerber. Once again, Blues Blackhawks tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. Before the Blues game, we'll have the Camellia Bowl at 11 a.m. Following that will be the Idaho Potato Bowl at 2:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
A trillion is more than a billion, numbnuts.
Come back to the fast lane.
Shohei likes money. Scotty don't.
BT in here with Marshy. Me here, Jamie Rivers. We're hosting today. Anthony has no idea what we're doing to his show while he's gone.
It is. He sent me a text. I was driving on the way in. He said, "Hey, look, I heard you're filling in today. Nobody ran it through me. I didn't approve of this. Make sure you keep it on the rails."
Yeah.
So that is exactly what I intend to do, Jamie. Not going to veer off. Not going to do anything. Not going to say anything that could jeopardize anything.
No.
So, Anthony, you're in good hands.
You're fine. Everything's fine. So, BT, if you were running a baseball team,
Okay.
let's just say you've been gifted the opportunity to run any baseball team you want.
When you say run, am I the owner of said team or am I the president of baseball operations? Just
you
like to know
let's say,
what my role is.
Yeah, let's just say you have the last say.
I have carte blanche?
You have the
I'm
last
the
say.
owner then.
Okay, you're the owner. Or
This
your
feels
owner has
nice.
just been like, I don't care, you make the decisions. Okay? Is $1 billion a good investment on 2 players?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yes.
But it's actually like, there's circumstances, BT.
Oh, now there's rules.
Well, I mean, you got to pretend like we're role playing here a little bit.
Okay.
I know you like that.
All right, now. Good.
Yeah. So
What am I wearing?
what do you want to wear?
Well, for
do you like
this,
to wear?
I mean, I gotta have some. I gotta at least have a tie on right now. This is
Is anything else?
just a tie.
What
this
about
is business?
What if it's business casual? You have to have dress socks and
Then no,
shoes on.
if it's business cash, then skip the tie.
True. So just socks and shoes.
All right, socks and shoes. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I got a terrible visual right now. My
That's
gosh. Either way, you're the guy, business casual and all. You're making the decision, but there's repercussions.
Okay.
Like you could lose your job, all this stuff.
I'm the owner. I'm not losing my
You're
job.
the owner. So
Go ahead
you
and fire me.
Your team could, plummet revenue-wise. You know what I'm saying. Just stop
I
being like
understand.
my children right now.
Okay.
And just listen.
Yeah.
Would you sign 2 players for $1 billion?
If I have the money, yes.
Okay.
If I have the money. So nobody, and I think you might be talking about Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and the Dodgers. You might be, you might not
just
be.
randomly.
Don't know.
2 players
Don't know.
for $1 billion. I mean, could be any 2, but those 2.
Okay, any 2 players that you could add up to make $1 billion.
Yeah.
And you can't use Shohei Ohtani, go ahead and have fun trying to add up those players.
Good point.
If I had the money, the answer is, yeah, it's a good investment because I know with those 2 players that I am very likely. Smart business people don't make oftentimes dumb business decisions. So they have to know that they are in somehow, some way going to make their money back on this deal. Whether it be an influx of money coming in from the Japanese market, which you know is already happening and will continue to happen for the next decade, that you have Shohei and you've got 12 years of Yamamoto. I think he's got an opt-out after year 6 or year 8. And as we talked about, I think his contract is also backloaded. So the big money is going to be near the backside. I don't see him going
He won't
anywhere.
opt out out if all the money.
There's a good chance he's probably going to end up hanging around. So for most teams, yeah, that makes zero sense. But for a team, and you and I were looking this up before the show, Jamie, the contracts that are out there in terms of like TV revenue, and this was like a Google search, so I'm not going to have the exact number, but I believe it was over an $8 billion deal that the Dodgers signed for their TV deal. Just in reference, and it might have been a 25-year deal, so not nuts and bolts, not exactly the same. But I believe the Cardinals deal was like $1.3 billion, somewhere in that neighborhood for 15 years. So a little
that's a big difference.
And
not
one of them,
little, that's a lot.
Well, and the other big difference is because a lot of people again saying Cardinals should have signed them, whatever. You'd make the money, you'd figure it out. You guys are all smarter than me. I don't know. But the other big difference is they know their TV money is going to be there.
That's guaranteed right now.
It's a real issue.
It's not with a company called Bally's.
Right.
So
who we love.
We love them. But it's just the facts are facts right now is that is in flux, to say the least, where the Dodgers, I believe they're with Time Warner, like that's not going anywhere. So that $8 billion-ish estimated is guaranteed to the Dodgers.
Correct, which is so that flipping it to you, right? If you're the Dodgers, Jamie, is this a move that you would feel comfortable making?
I would. I really would, and it's only because I know that my franchise, my baseball organization, is a cash cow to begin with. The Dodgers make a ton of money without Shohei Ohtani or Yamamoto. Can you imagine what they're going to make now? Like, I don't even know, I don't know how the jersey sales work, the T-shirts, the merchandise, the whatever it is. I don't know how certain things translate with endorsements and advertising. I don't get all that, but I do know that you're going to make a lot more money with those guys in your lineup, in particular Ohtani in this one, than you are without them.
Sure.
So how they do that, I guarantee the Dodgers maybe even hired a team, two people, to come in and specifically during the course of the season.
Is two people a team, you think?
Yeah, I think so. A duo. Okay,
a duo. Hired a duo.
Okay, they hired somebody.
What's a group to you? At least three?
3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe they hired a group. And
I would hire, if a decision like this, Jamie, I'm hiring at least a group.
But what I'm saying is you have them explore every single branch of revenue stream that you can find by signing Ohtani. Before you offer him this crazy contract, you go back and you say, okay, this makes sense. Well, why? Well, here's a list of reasons why it makes sense, and here's the dollar value that it could actually add up to, which is going to put us in the black. Imagine that, in the black, while offering up a $700 million contract.
Well, and Ohtani's, as you guys talked plenty about, his contract is a bit of a unicorn here for not just the $700 million, but the $68 per year deferred at no interest that they get to invest and make money on. Mm-hmm. So at some point, and again, I don't have $68 million to invest, Jamie. I don't know what that ROI looks like. Yes, for sure, yet. Because if you don't have a plan, if you don't think you're going to be rich, you're never Think and Grow Rich. It's a book. I haven't read it yet. No, I haven't read it yet. Rich Man, Poor Man is good.
That is a book.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That's it.
That's a good book.
That's the same
book. Yeah. Also has a lot of spin-off books.
It does.
Yeah, I've got some of those,
Imagine that.
too.
Rich Dad had spin-off books.
Yeah, how about that?
Good
Poor
guy.
Dad didn't.
No,
and Poor Dad,
didn't.
and the interesting part of the Rich Dad,
paperback
Poor Dad worked his ass off. Like, Poor Dad was like, that's what I thought the dream was. Apparently not. Rich Dad knew all the systems. Either way, the Dodgers know it too. So it doesn't work for everybody to be able to do a deal like this. It might not work in in St. Louis. There might not be those same revenue streams that are out there to make those two deals make sense, where they're not going to bite you. But it also, and the more talented your team is, Jamie, as you very well know, the better your chances are. Everybody's looking at the Dodgers right now. I guarantee you that Dave Roberts saw these two signings and he was like, yes. Woo, boy, a lot of expectations now if there weren't already. What have they been to? 3 World Series in the last 7 years already? Yeah. Like the clock is ticking here.
Dave Roberts is like, Dave Roberts. My GM's going to be able to put together a good roster for me.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
Tell me who to play.
Yeah, here we go. Whatever you say is right. I don't want to mess anything up. But it guarantees you nothing. Right? You still have to go out there. I think it's going to be fun. Maybe a little bit later in the show, we'll talk about what it takes to actually compete. And are the Cardinals one of those teams that can compete with the Dodgers? And I'm not talking for 162. As Jamie shakes his head, for those of you who are not watching,
I was shaking
on
off the
YouTube.
pitch, Brad. I was still role playing.
Yeah, well, good for you. Good for you. Here comes a hard one. But the answer is, can they do it in the postseason? And who are the teams that can? Because it is very quick. You can get knocked off your horse pretty quick. And look, you've seen Shohei in the play.
No, I haven't.
Well, you've seen Yamamoto pitch in the big league. I haven't. So, I don't know. I don't know yet, Jamie.
So you're saying there's a chance.
That's right.
Just get in.
Seen Sonny
Just
Gray.
get in. You never know.
Just get
I
in.
mean, you want to talk about life lessons or just a motto? You thinking about a tattoo, maybe a little classy
We talked
forearm
about
piece?
T-shirts again.
Just get in.
On the front, just get in. And on the back, you never know.
Jamie's been telling me that for
I
a
wouldn't
while.
do that.
Why?
No, I would sell that as 2 separate shirts, Jamie.
Really?
Yeah, because it's double your money. So
Good, but would it make sense standalone? Just get in?
Oh, yes.
But you never know?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if that's a standalone.
No, you never know. That's a life, like you could be walking through, pick your favorite store. You're going to, like, right now, everybody's at Target and say, you never know. It's like, dude, you're right. And they could be talking about something in their life.
It could be.
Yeah,
Could
you
it be
never
a
know.
reversible shirt? Like you can reverse it?
Oh, charge double for the shirt?
Charge double for the
I'm
shirt.
not going to pay
it's
double
reversed.
for a reversible shirt, though, Jamie. You're in the shirt biz. You're
Yeah.
slanging those tees.
That's a tough one. You don't necessarily make your money back on
What
those.
about a package deal, though, where you take a couple of dollars off of the pair of shirts? Or it's like you could buy one for $25.99 or 2 for $40.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Put them in different colors.
You never
too.
know, and just get in.
Just get in. You never know.
That's
I'd buy
the
both
rich
those.
dad talking right
It
there.
is right
I'd buy
there.
both those things.
Yeah, you would. You'd take them both.
Yeah.
All right, that's Brad Thompson. This
Put
is
him on my
101
back.
ESPN. It's a fast lane. We're going to get back into the
And
Blues, and why scoring first is pretty much imperative for them. Happy holidays from Johnny Londoff Chevrolet. Find your tag. That's right. Make your holiday shine bright with Chevy Red Tag bonus cash this holiday season. So many unbelievable deals to be had right now at either the original Londoff location right there in Florissant, Missouri, or the new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters right off of Highway 70. How about this for a deal? A 2023 Silverado 1500 RST. The suggested retail price, $59,710. The red tag price, only $44,960. You save $14,750. That's just one of many incredible deals that are available right now at the Londoff Chevrolet locations. Again, walk into either location where they've got great inventory of brand new and pre-owned vehicles. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They're going to take amazing care of you. I know this because I've been a Londoff customer for around 25 years now, and recently just bought another vehicle, a Chevy Tahoe, and my buying experience was the same as it was the very first time I bought a vehicle with Londoff Chevrolet. The customer service was outstanding. The vehicle is fantastic, and just all around the staff is just a joy to work with. So please get by there again in person. If not, get there online. Visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers here driving the bus today with Brad Thompson, who's in here for the full show, and our guy Andrew Marsh working the dials. Anthony Stalter taking a much-deserved day off to spend with
Guy's
some
not accountable. Like, that's the thing with him.
He's the only one.
Just show up.
Yeah. So he shows up every day, doesn't know who the hell's on his show.
Just chipper, happy as can be. Best teammate ever. I hope he enjoys a beautiful Christmas.
Exactly. So we were talking earlier about the Blues and the fact that when they score first, I think they're 13 and
They've
1
lost one game.
or 14 and 1. I'm not sure exactly, but they've only lost one game when they score first. And they had a great comeback victory against the Dallas Stars, down by 2 goals, come back, win that game. That was a huge moment for them. But overall, it's been score first and you win for the Blues. And BT, like, I don't know how you equate this to baseball or any other sport, or heck, you watch the Blues games and you know you've got your own ideas and thoughts, but why do you think that is, that a team scores first and that's the only way, really, that they've been winning?
So it's really interesting because I feel like we had a text earlier at the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646, and it was just saying, I just want this team to have an identity. Well, there it is. Like, that's your team's identity. Like, they are a team that plays well ahead. Like, that is what they do. But every team, like, has a different thing. There are some teams, and Jamie, you've probably been on teams like this, where they responded to getting punched in the mouth. Like, not that you wanted to be down, but it happened, and then all of a sudden you fight back, you win a lot of games. There are other teams that play from ahead really well and then are great at going from there and then stepping on the throat. It's like, okay, we're in a position to take advantage of this. Let's do it. The Blues are doing that. Like they when they get there, they do that. And then there are other teams, which are the most maddening for me, Jamie, is the team that gets ahead and then starts playing a little bit more tentatively, playing to not lose the lead as opposed to gaining it. So I feel like every team has its own like little quirk. But you know the game of hockey inside and out, and you're watching these guys, and you know these guys. Do you see something stylistically about their game that changes when they have a lead?
So, yes and no. Let's go back to the root of it. Okay. The root of it is that if you don't score first, you're losing the game. And a lot of games that we've seen...
That sucks when you give up a goal early.
So, exactly, right? And a lot of the losses that have happened is because they're not ready to go right away. And then when the push comes, it's too far behind.
Yeah.
And like that was a prime example the other night in Tampa Bay, where the Lightning coming off a big Western Canadian swing, their first game back at home. They've been giving up a lot of goals recently. Like everything was set up to where you should have been able to take advantage of this. Even though they've got a lot of really good players, you're still able to maybe take advantage of it, and you didn't. You came out kind of flat, and you got down by 2. Then you had a turnover late in the first period, ends up making 3-0 before you get to the second period. That's too much.
Yeah,
that's almost insurmountable because that team is too good, and they got a guy named Vasilevsky in between the pipes that just decided, you're just not going to score on me once, but that's it. So. For me, it's a frame of mind of being ready to go immediately. And Drew Bannister did address that. The day off in between the 2 Florida games, between Tampa and Florida, he started the practice off with like a uber competitive drill. Small area game, guys playing like hardcore, tooth and nail. And he just said this group has to be ready from the moment their skates touch the ice to compete immediately, rather than touching the ice, waiting to see how everything's going to go, and then trying to hit the throttle.
Yeah, feel it out, right?
Yeah.
And that is something, you know this very well, better than anybody, that other teams, you scout the other team, you scout every little bit about them, and you know that. I guarantee you that is part of the game plan coming in against the Blues is get to them early and you will crush them. You will see it. Just go in there and do what you want to do early on, and then they will just drift away. And you have to be able to break that. Now, is this something that you think that Bannister is saying that Craig Berube wasn't, which hopefully is the case because, again, let go of a coach? Or is it just something where it's a fresh voice saying the same things and all of a sudden you have that realization as a player? It's like, oh, you got one guy fired. Maybe we should start listening.
I think a lot of it is still the same, BT, but I think what happens in this case in particular is the players start to realize that maybe it wasn't the message, maybe it was the players. Maybe it was them not responding. Because otherwise,
I would hope so.
So let's just be silly for a second here.
Okay.
So we go, okay, so Drew Bannister now is demanding compete right away. Really don't think Craig Berube was?
Yeah, Cheech, he seemed laid back to me.
No.
A guy that was just like, you know what? Look, if you aren't a 200-foot player, you don't want to be complete, that's you.
You're fine.
You're the fastest guy, and you just go zip, you just shoo, and you score even though you're not scoring, and you do all these things. Or pick an example, like whatever your example ends up being. Again, there's just a blanket hockey statement. No, I think that he was probably preaching those things.
Yeah, so I think at this point, it's like when you hear something, let's equate it to this.
Okay.
It's like we both have children, and you know how many times you tell your child something, whatever it is. Like you need to do this, you need to do it this way. Oh, yeah. But then, like the next door neighbor or uncle who and so or cousin here says the same thing, and they respond to that person.
Jamie, I mean, you're speaking to one of my biggest pet peeves ever. Okay, Dad doesn't know everything.
No.
Everything about a lot of things. Like baseball, like I know, especially like a youth baseball thing, I tell my son something 20 times. I have to start feeding it to another coach. Hey, could you tell him this? And then it's like, and then he's like, oh, you never guess what coach taught me. He's like, oh, buddy, that's freaking-tastic. That's really good. I
would have never thought of that, son.
Yeah, I mean, holy cow.
I did the same thing with Haas.
My one son.
He wouldn't listen to anything I said as when I coached him, so I had to deal with the assistant coach. I go down, tell him what to tell Haas. He'd tell him, and Haas would respond, act like he was the greatest coach ever. He was a great coach,
Yes.
great guy. But I was spoon-feeding him what to say, yet my words were falling on deaf ears.
But that's coaching.
That's coaching.
So, and maybe that's a really interesting way to get into it. I didn't mean for us to get here, but that's part of Drew Bannister's gig now, too, is building a quick relationship with all of his other coaches to see who he needs to do that with.
Yeah.
Like, hey, who are you tight with? Okay, great. That's your dude. And then
that's your guy.
Yeah,
that's your department.
Yes, help me help them. But that's got to be one of the hardest things for him.
It's
because
smart.
You're coming in, you're trying to do all these things. You're trying to show that you're not going to put up with this and you want to compete. And obviously, he takes this opportunity very seriously. He'd love to be a head coach in the NHL for the next however long. And I hope that happens for him. But you also have all these you have relationships that you have to build with the players, and you also have to do it with the staff. And I would think that, Jamie, and you and I haven't talked about this at all, I'm sure that there are plenty of guys that are on the staff that would have loved to be elevated into such a position as well, right? If they were going to be there already. So you have to kind of work around some of those things. I don't think it's the easiest thing to come in as an interim coach and see a team ascend.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Drew Bannister's been put in a tough spot. We talked about it. I think the second segment of the show is like, this isn't easy to come into a team that their last head coach was a very popular figure, was a very successful coach. And then the assistant coaches and the staff that is surrounding him, they were all pro Berube because those are his guys.
Yeah.
And so now you're coming into an environment that's difficult because you're the new guy. You're trying to get to know everybody, trying to get to know your assistant coaches. To your point, maybe somebody on the staff thought they should get the opportunity. Maybe they don't. I don't know that to be true.
No, but it's a human element.
Why
right?
wouldn't you
would
like,
think?
if I was an assistant coach, I'd be like, well, I would have liked to have a
Yeah, I
chance.
could do that.
I don't not like the guy who's here now, but I would have liked to have a chance to do that. I think Doug Armstrong just wanted a completely fresh set of eyeballs and a new voice, because sometimes when you elevate an assistant coach, you're elevating someone with the same message and same delivery as the guy that was just here. A lot of that is all been produced.
Yeah, because this is our way.
That's right. So now when you bring in somebody brand new, it really is a fresh beginning for some of those players, so that some of the things that you like or don't like about a certain player, there's no carryover because you're experiencing it for the first time. So I think that all of this together creates a situation to where, Drew Bannister's got a lot of work to do. The players have a lot of work to do. The coaching staff as a whole, Brad, have a lot of work to do as well. And they've got to get to a point where scoring the first goal can't be the end-all, be-all. Yes, it'd be nice to do that, but if you get down by a goal, there has to be some pushback. There has to be some fight in this group, because you're not going to get ahead in every game. And if you expect that, then you're going to be out of the playoffs.
We'll see. We'll see if they continue to respond. So far, so good under Drew Bannister. And again, I was not that my opinion matters, but I'm here to give it anyhow. I was not in the I agree with Army's move camp, but the team has responded to this point. Hopefully continue to be consistent, and at the end of the day, I want the Blues to be successful, and I'd like Drew Bannister to be successful, so best of luck.
He's Brad Thompson, Jamie Rivers here, Andrew Marsh. The Yamamoto contract is a really interesting contract, and I wonder if that has changed the market overall for starting pitchers moving forward. We'll get into that when we come back here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
So what the Dodgers have gotten, quite simply, is probably one of the 10 best pitchers in the world. And it cost them $325 million to do it, but that is $325 in an offseason where they've already spent $700 million on Shohei Ohtani and another $136 million on Tyler Glasnow. This is the Dodgers, Scott, assembling the Avengers and putting together the super team they hope to end all super teams in Los Angeles.
Well, that was Jeff Passan talking about the Yamamoto deal and, to give us a little bit of a landscape there on that one.
Went Avengers on us, too.
He did. He
Piecing
did.
all together.
I mean, I felt like dropping the Avengers thing really painted a picture for me. But are the good Avengers or the evil Avengers?
Well, real quick, Marshy, and you're the Marvel and Avengers guy. What did I miss? There's an evil Avengers?
I just made it up.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, is there one where they got possessed or something?
I mean, they're not called like the evil Avengers, but there's like...
What are they called?
Well, it just depends on which story you're looking at. In Secret Wars, all of the...
Well, Secret Wars, is that a movie?
Well, if it's secret, how do we know?
Well, it will be a movie.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet.
Right, that's secret.
And that's an ongoing discussion with Disney. But there are... evil villains and whatnot that fight all of the heroes. They're not called the evil Avengers, but we do know in Avengers Infinity War, the Avengers lose.
Oh, wow.
They lose.
Oh.
And maybe the Cardinals.
Spoiler alert.
Who beat them in that? Was that Thanos?
It was Thanos.
Well, now I don't have to watch it. Thanks, Marshy.
You know what? Thanos had a lot of rings. Cardinals have a lot of rings. They're going to take that big old fist.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah, they're
and
going to use
stick
the
it
fist.
right
Use the gauntlet.
in the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Take
I
that.
mean, I won't bring up the fact that, Thanos ends up losing to the Avengers, but
I thought the
you said he
Avengers
won.
lost. You
well,
just
they
said he
did in
won.
that one movie.
You talking about Secret Game now?
No, not Secret Wars.
I'm so lost. I have no idea now if the Dodgers are going to win or lose.
Well, you know what? Maybe they'll lose it first. And then in the rest of the contracts that they have with these gentlemen, they might squeak in a World
Just
Series.
out of curiosity, over the next 10 years, how many World Series do the Dodgers have to win in order for this to make sense?
So this is a great question.
Thank you.
And Jamie, this is one where it's almost unanswerable because I don't know.
Unanswered.
So we know this. The last 7 years, I believe that the Dodgers have been to the postseason. I think it's 10 years in a row. We'll just go with that. They've been to the World Series 3 out of the last 7. Really good team. They add 2 Marvel superheroes to it. I don't know which one Shohei would be. What's your favorite, Marshy? Who's your favorite?
is Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's Spider. What? It's your favorite?
Spider-Man's
He's
awesome.
like the least powerful of
He's
all
so
of them.
nerdy. It's just like
I know, but he relates more to the common person. He has common,
He has common
flaws.
powers, too. I mean, who can't
He's Spider-Man.
shoot
He can
webs?
Yeah,
you know?
everybody could do that.
Sorry, who would you rather use?
I mean,
Thor?
almost anybody other than
Iron Man.
Who? I mean, you talking about a guy that can relate to the common man? That's Iron Man right there.
Rich Dad.
All right, so they add those 2. They had those whoever, right? They had Iron Man and the Web Slinger, so they get both of those guys over there with the Dodgers. It does change things for other teams that are looking at it. Now, I don't think there's no such thing if you're another team. It's like, well, now we pivot and now we add this. Your market
There is
still,
no pivot.
The
market
Cardinals
is
are
still the
getting
market.
Hawkeye.
So your pivot is still it's Snell Montgomery is still your market.
Well, now we're going to go spend $1 billion.
Those are the
You're not.
guys right now, and if you're the gosh darn it, I forget the guy. There's a Japanese free agent next year. I forget his name. A starting pitcher. We'll hear it a lot next year. He's over there just already counting money he doesn't have probably. And if you are Montgomery and Snell, like you're sitting here saying, hot damn. Oh, who lost on this one? Oh, Yankees. You still need a guy, do you? You got a lot of money. Cohen, we'll come to dinner at your house. Red Sox, you lost out on this also. Like, you have a lot of teams that were in on the Yamamoto who are now in need of an ace. And I guarantee we got a lot of texts. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646 saying, look, Cardinals are still in need of an ace. Do you see them spending upwards of $200 million on an ace?
Who?
By the way, Cardinals right now.
No.
Montgomery's market didn't need the, but
No.
Montgomery's market, he's pushing towards $200 million right now.
That's insane.
This was a guy
I'm sorry.
coming into the season last year, Jamie. I think that it would have been very, I think we could have easily said, hey, I think that he'll sign a 4-year deal, maybe 75, 80 million. And now he's going to sign a deal absolutely north of 150, potentially pushing 200 million. And good for Jordan Montgomery.
I'm happy for him, but that seems
Strike when the irons.
crazy.
Of course, it seems crazy. Signing any of these pitchers to these obscene contracts, especially as Janet mentioned earlier, anybody over 5 years it's almost a fool's errand. But it's a price of doing business at this point. If you want to land the pitcher, you land him. We got another text a little bit earlier, and I don't have it in front of me. But it said, it's crazy to spend this much money, and again, paraphrasing, crazy to spend this much money on a pitcher when the league is trying to make it harder on pitchers because all the rules are like legislating.
They keep making it worse.
Let's go faster, and then, like all things are changing that way. But it does tell you, and I think it was a great text, but it also tells you teams know how important great starting pitching is, and they're still willing to pony up for it. Like, you still need those guys. When I get into October, I want 1-2 punch. I want Wheeler Nola.
So, BT, answer me this. And I shouldn't say answer me this. Give me your opinion on this because there is no direct answer yet. But the way that baseball is trending right now the 18-second pitch clock with guys on base and all this stuff, does the starting pitcher 5 years from now, all these teams that gave these long, are they regretting it because the starting pitcher's not obsolete, but you can find a number of players that can pitch 4 or 5 innings because that's where you're going to be?
Yeah, it's, again, another good question right there on the board, Jamie. That's 2, this whole segment.
Yes.
And you get 3, there's a bonus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chocolates?
No, yes, it's company chocolates.
An award?
You get half of them because I've just been munching. They've been lunch today.
Sure.
So I think the landscape is going to change. I think that you're going to see a lot of quote unquote smart teams that start doing it a different direction where you might even see like piggyback situations. You might see these super relievers who are ready. You might have 3 innings, 2 days off, 3 innings. Like I could see teams doing this, and a team like the Rays maybe starting things off.
Just looking at it going if this is the way it's trending, why would you be spending?
That's my thing. Philosophically, if I'm a team that is going to go out there and pony up this sort of money for a starting pitcher and make that kind of a commitment, I also want to make a commitment that starting pitching is very important to me as a team, as an organization. My expectation is not for you to go out there for 5 innings and then you shake hands and we have 4 for our bullpen. No, you're going to go out there and you're going to find that dog. Okay, you don't just whoa, Miss Lippy. You don't just
flyers.
sit there.
You don't give up.
Yes, no, you don't give up. So I think that is something that I would love to see change, but we've gone the opposite direction. You're still going to have your unicorn, Jamie. You're still going to have your guys that go deeper and deeper into ball games, but it's going to be interesting to see. And the Snell deal is the one that I'm really interested in whenever that comes down, of how many years he gets, what the back end of that contract looks like for him. I think there will be, to answer your question, some people upset about the deals they sign.
That's Brad Thompson, Jamie Rivers here, Andrew Marsh. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're going to get right back into your St. Louis Blues because we've got the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber, coming up next here on 101 ESPN.
Inside with the voice of the Blues, Chris Kerber. Brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. Brad Thompson, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers driving the bus here today. We head out to our celebrity line to be joined by the voice of the Blues, the very own Chris Kerber. Kerbs, how you doing today, bud?
Jamie, I'm doing well. Hope you got some rest last night.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Kerbs. I got up this morning, and one, I didn't know where I was because I've been in so many beds here recently. Think of that however you want. But also, two, is I didn't have the lovely sound of the waves crashing in against the beach and the breeze coming in. I woke up to some rain and some cold, so I was a little off balance, to say the least.
I like, no joke. I don't think I've known what day it is, like the actual day of the week, for about a month and a half right now.
Well, Kerbs, happy Friday.
I'm like 2 days. I'm like 2 days off right now. Like, is this Saturday? Is today Saturday?
I keep thinking tomorrow night is Christmas Eve. That's how screwed up I am.
Yes, I'm in that. I've actually done that 3 times too. I'm like, I got to get stuff done. I don't want to work tomorrow. And I was like, what's tomorrow? I go, Christmas Eve. I don't. And she goes, you got a game? I go, oh my God, we got an extra day. Sorry, yeah, we're in there.
You can't have too much celebrating. If you do 2 Christmas Eves, that'll be fine. This is totally off of the radar here. Has nothing to do with the Blues, but Marshy brought it up earlier. Right. I don't know how we got here, Curbs, but we were talking about Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto and liking them to, I believe it was Jeff Passan that likened them to like Marvel superheroes. Marshy's favorite Marvel superhero happens to be Spider-Man. Didn't expect it, but where are you at? Who's your favorite Marvel character?
Boy, so I actually did. I have seen just about all those movies. It took us about 3 years to catch up. We watched them in release order, so me and my girls, and then they were the ones that wanted to do this. No, it's not Spider-Man for me. I think, let's see. Favorite Marvel one, you know what? I'm going Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel? I mean...
Yeah, I'm going Brie Larson all the way on that one.
Who pushes back on that?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Nobody.
Is Thor an Avenger?
Yeah, Thor's an Avenger.
See, I like Thor. He's got long hair, and he's got the build, the big hammer, you know.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It works.
One thing I haven't figured out, though, is like, while all those other Marvels were like saving 1,800 universes and traveling back in time and getting Loki, you know, to do weird stuff, like I don't know what Captain Marvel was off on her own doing, waiting until everybody was nearly dead to just come back and save the day. So I would like some kind of, I would like some kind of prequel into how she was killing her time while the rest of the universe was just getting destroyed.
Well, it's a pretty easy one where she could go, I told you so. I knew this wasn't going to work.
Yeah, like, you know, instead of celebrating her return, like, yeah, she came back to save the day. How come all of them were like, one of them's missing a hand, the other one's lost brothers, you know? Black Widow's gone, and you're like, where the hell you been?
Just on a silence retreat. She's been fine. She'll be back.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked. A little punch of karma, maybe.
You were just like how does somebody that has more superpowers than all of them just disappear and decide I'll just hang out?
It's a strategy,
It's a lot of responsibility, right? It's like, yeah, I could help, but let them figure it out.
We all have that child.
Like, hey, it's like your kids, right, Curbs? Like, you could help them with certain things, but you're like, you know what? They got to learn a lesson here.
I mean, Ant-Man was lost in somebody's blood system for like 15 years, and she's like, oh, this is cool. What do you guys need? I don't get it. Like, so I'm not sure that I helped you out there, fellas.
No, you're fine.
You
did.
I like that. You went a different direction. I like that.
Curbs, as we dive into the Blues here a little bit here, they got one game before a couple of days off for the holiday. You know, 4 games now under new interim head coach Drew Bannister. What are some things that you've noticed about this club in those 4 games?
Listen, I actually think my favorite thing so far might have been Pavel Buchnevich's, yeah, nice curse. Pavel Buchnevich's comments to Matt DeFranks after the game last night. When Matt asked him, you know, did you feel like this was kind of a rebound after essentially getting benched for the final 12 minutes of the third period against Tampa? And Pavel's response was, no, I don't think like that. He goes, he actually says, I deserve to be benched there, you know, but I'm not 20 anymore, so I don't worry about games that are past. And just the fact that so much of that word accountability, and it's overused in my book because I don't know. Accountability only works, one, if it's used a certain way, and two, if it's then accepted by whoever's being held accountable, if that makes any sense. But I think that that's a heck of a message that Drew Bannister sent in that game by sitting what I think is probably the best all-around 200-foot player on this hockey team, from skill-wise, talent-wise, plays power play, penalty kill, all that. For him to accept it, then come out and say, I deserved it, and then have the game he did, I just think that that's a really good sign in terms of what this team is expecting down the road. Now, along those lines, then, it's always the response to adversity. We saw them come back in the Dallas game, which was good, and then we saw a much better team game against Florida than we saw against Tampa. You put those three things together, Jamie, and I think that's what probably jumps off the page at me the most in the first 4 games under Drew Bannister.
Kerb's talking about the Buch benching and then the bounce back by Buch in that line against the Panthers. What kind of an impact do you think that has had now on this team? Watching, to your point, one of your best, if not the best, all-around player. He competes every game. He's a good dude. Teammates like him. He got benched, which it was an eye-opener, but then he responds by coming back the next game and having a big game. What kind of an impact do you think that has?
Well, I think it's got to have a huge impact on somebody like a Jordan Kyrou, right? Or, so even a Jake Neighbors looking at what's going on. If you're a Tyler Tucker, if you're a Scott Perunovich, if you're a Joe Hofer, I think it's got to say, hey, if this coach, is willing to do that with him, but then he responds that way, what excuse do you have? Now, again, like I said, when it comes to accountability, Jimmy, in my opinion, the only way that works is if guys accept it. I think we've seen Jordan Kyrou face adversity, accept it, meet it, and come out really good on the other end with a couple of good games. We just saw Pavel Buchnevich, and I think that those are just important growth games and growth moments for this team. Now, the one thing that we saw over this weekend that I think you'll agree with me on this, but again, I'll defer to you on this. I still think that there's a tremendous amount of room for this team to come together as a team and play more for each other in certain moments. And I liked what we saw, for example, when, even though I don't think that it was a negligent hit on Jake Neighbors by Kulikov in that game, I liked the way that when Kulikov went behind the net, it was Krug and Shen that went after him a little bit. And so I'd like to see more of that kind of just fighting for each other. And I think if that happens over the next little while, this team could find itself on a run.
Kerbs, maybe you answered this in part of the Buchnevich, his handling here by Drew Bannister. But aside from wins and losses, how should we be grading the job he does in the interim?
I think, do you see, for me, I think it's probably, do you see more consistency from the guys, like a Kyrou and stuff like that, who it's time to start seeing that? Do you continue? And I'm also looking for how certain scenarios are being used here. I thought, like every time you're seeing the Thomas line on the ice, for the most part, you're seeing Parayko and Leddy with him. So you've got really your shutdown defense guy with Parayko and your top even strength defense guy with Parayko on the ice with your top line who can make up maybe for more mistakes than some of the other guys, right? It's 30 seconds. You've got a 2-goal lead. There's 30 seconds to go on a power play. And with a power play that's still sputtering just a little bit, you go ahead and you put Falk and you put Leddy out on the ice, 2 defensemen, just to make sure that you don't give up that shorthanded goal kind of thing. I think there are coachable moments like that. And the other thing that there's no doubt that his marching orders from Doug Armstrong were accountability and kind of management of this team. And so far, I think it's been a heck of a good start for him.
Kerbs, last one for you here, and this is about Joel Hofer. And certainly not a question of a goaltender controversy, because you know how I feel about Jordan Binnington and how much I like him and love him as a goaltender. But it is nice for the Blues to have the luxury of tapping on Joel Hofer, and he's able to go in and put out a performance like he had against the Panthers.
Yeah, and we talked about maybe rebound games for Jordan Binnington or for Jordan Kyrou and Pavel Buchnevich. I think Hofer needed one as well. He'd gone out a couple games, struggled a little bit, maybe fought it just a little bit. And he came in when the Blues needed him to do exactly what he needed to do. Jordan Binnington had started 5 straight games. Wouldn't shock. Now, Binnington's numbers against the Blackhawks in his career have been fantastic. It wouldn't, but at the same time, it wouldn't shock me at all with the way Joe played in that game. If Joe got the call last night, it just gives Jordan another few days off during the holiday break, because you've got some big, tough games coming up with Colorado, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Carolina coming up after the break. So a great game for him, and they need him. Look, if you're going to – and Doug Armstrong said this last night. He said, I believe we still can make the playoffs here. And if that is the goal, and stating that, finishing in third in that area is where that target is, you're going to need Joel Hofer to play and play well, because I still think in that situation, unless you really overwork your starter, you've got to get 25 to 28 points from your number 2 goaltender. So I thought it was a great game for Joel Hofer, and he showed some humor in his comments after the game, with both he and Neighbors getting bit by the curved glass. And, you got to like the feel of that there. So great game for him. And, and again, like I said, and I'm right there with you. I'm a Binnington honk, and I said this before the Tampa game. I'll still say it even after the Tampa game. If I got to win in Game 7, the 2 goaltenders I would be looking at in the NHL to do that right now are Vasilevsky or Binnington. And but having said that, Hofer, if he does get on a little bit of a run, it can help this team, and it's only beneficial to everybody.
I agree, Kerbs. Great stuff, as always. Hey, buddy, enjoy the holiday. Have a great Christmas with your family.
Which is Monday.
Kerbs.
Monday, got it.
We'll catch up to you following the holiday, but have a great one.
All right, you guys, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody, and we'll have some fun tomorrow night at the rink, and then have a great little break.
Awesome,
Cheers,
Christmas, Kerber. Thanks a lot. Again, that was Chris Kerber, voice of your St. Louis Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network, which is 101 ESPN. When we come back, we're going to have a little fun. We like to do this on a yearly basis. BT absolutely loves this game. I think you'll love it, too. It's called Bowl or No Bowl.
Oh, I thought it was called Show Us Your Bowls.
Yeah, or that. Okay. Coming up next here on 101 ESPN.
Either way.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues defeated the Panthers last night by a final score of 4-1. They'll take on the Blackhawks tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We just talked with Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Before the Blues game tomorrow, we'll have the Camellia Bowl at 11 a.m. and then following that will be the Idaho Potato Bowl at 2:30. So make sure you tune in to that. We will be playing Bowl or No Bowl coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I hope you're ready to discuss some college bowl game scenarios.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. This is definitely the moment you have all been waiting for. Bowl or no bowl, BT?
Jamie, I don't think I'm going to do well in this one. And the main reason is there was a bowl earlier that Marshy did in an update that I absolutely would have said no bowl. That's not a bowl.
There's a lot of them now. It used to be easy when we were kids.
Yeah.
You knew.
Cotton
Sugar
Bowl. Yeah.
Peach Bowl.
That's legit.
Yeah. Now you've got the RateMyToilet.com bowl.
That's actually a bowl.
I guess I got to scratch that one off.
Yeah.
All right, Marshy, you're driving this bus, and should we keep score on this?
Absolutely. I have which bowls are real, which bowls are fake. I'll write down which ones you guys get right.
Is it one at a time, or is it a consensus?
No, both bowls.
No.
What?
No, 2 bowls. No. Are you going like me, then him? Or are we doing both of us? We come together.
I think you guys have to come together, and much like the Prove Me Wrong, you two need to come together and figure out if it's real or fake.
Sounds climactic. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready for bowl number 1?
Yes.
We have the John Deere Great Plains Bowl.
It's a real bowl, Jamie.
I think that's a real bowl.
It's a real bowl. You got 2 real teams
and
playing.
And you got a real
bowl.
name, John Deere.
And they wouldn't just add the Great Plains thing. I mean, that thing's happening.
That thing's very specific.
Very country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real.
That's real.
That is indeed fake.
Son of a...
Not a real bowl.
John Deere doesn't have a real bowl? Thought this was America.
It's not the John Deere Great Plains Bowl.
What is it?
I have no idea. I just made it up.
The grass bowl.
There's no John Deere, or there is a John Deere, but it's not the Great Plains Bowl.
I don't think there's a John Deere Bowl at all.
Damn. How things have fallen off where John Deere can't get himself
Seriously.
a bowl. Bang and start we've got, Jamie. Here we go.
All right.
Bowl number 2, the Radiant Technologies Independence Bowl.
That sounds so fake, but we messed up the John Deere one.
So what? The
Radiance?
Radiant Technologies Independence Bowl.
That's not real.
I think it is.
Radiance Technologies.
I don't know.
What kind of cheese does Radiance Technologies have? Dude, I've never even heard of them. They're sponsoring bowls?
It's one of those things where it's probably like some
like
tech
if you don't
company.
know, you don't need to know. These tech money, they got all kinds of. Like nobody knew Yamamoto a month ago. He's got $300 million.
Yeah,
325. 325.
What do you think? I'll let you go.
Let's go real. We messed
All
up
right.
last time. He's not going to go 2 fakes in a row. Who's playing in that? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Never mind. Okay, don't worry. I won't ask that question.
Don't ask me.
Fire up chips.
All right, bowl number 3, the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
So Scooters Coffee is
Scooters real. They've jumped all over.
They're everywhere.
Town now.
Yeah.
Have you had Scooters yet?
I have had it like once or twice.
You a Scooter guy?
It's fine. I'm a coffee guy.
Me too.
I'm not don't need like my Starbucks. I don't need my
You're not a snob
Caldies.
somewhere.
I don't need my scooter.
I need my coffee.
I need my coffee. Yeah. Being in all the rinks, and you know this too, all the ballparks, like very seldom do you have the luxury of getting the fancy stuff. You're like, just give me a coffee.
Whatever it is.
Correct.
Drink coffee right now. Love it.
Yeah.
Scooters seems like they're making a real push. And I think
They are.
I think they're going to pedal their way to a bowl.
Okay.
It's real.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Scoot.
All right, the next bowl. By the way, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. That was Texas Tech against California. Texas Tech won 34-14.
Oh, it's over?
Yes, the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
Yeah.
UTSA defeated Marshall 35-17. So those bowls have already happened. Bowl number 4.
Hey, hits keep coming from Marshall.
The Hooters Big Bowl in Scottsdale.
It better be one.
Hooters Big Bowl.
In Scottsdale.
I don't think they're gonna. They're not gonna
one
call
bowl
it
or two for that one.
Yeah, they're not gonna call it the Big Bowl. Like they're not. Hooters isn't just gonna go out there and say, "Look at these. Look at this big bowl." They're not gonna.
It'd be like 2 bowls.
Yeah, because for some reason they'd get in trouble somehow.
Yeah.
Corporate marketing. It's like Hooters. I don't care who wears these shorts. I'm saying no bowl.
No bowl. All right. What's your take on those shorts, by the way?
They're not comfortable. I know that.
Yeah.
Other than
they
that,
ride up pretty high.
Sure do, right? I mean, you want to talk about, and I got pasty legs anyhow.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you wear the
like,
pantyhose with them.
That's a good call. That was a miss by me.
It was.
That was a miss.
Gives you like that natural fake tan.
I say
on the legs.
revealing more so than anything.
Correct.
But a fan nonetheless.
Okay.
All right, bowl number 5, the Costco Heritage Bowl.
I feel like that's real. It's Costco.
They got everything.
Got everything.
And they do
it's
it in
probably a
bulk.
really, like a huge bowl, too.
Of course
like more than you need bowl.
Yes. Like, hey, we're going to be... This thing's got overtime written all over it, doesn't it?
I say yes.
I'm going to go with you.
Son of a...
The Heritage Bowl.
Sam's Club?
Yeah. So the Heritage Bowl actually is a defunct bowl, but the Heritage Bowl was real at one point.
So we get half a point, then.
No.
All right, I tried.
All right, the next one, we have the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Oh,
It's really
no
fake.
way.
That's if there is a Pop-Tarts Bowl, we're not doing well.
No,
it's fake. That's the easiest one we've had thus far.
No bowl.
That is real. It's NC State taking on Kansas State in Orlando on December 28th.
Can you celebrate that if you win? Bro, we're Pop-Tart Bowl winners, baby. Show me them tarts.
That's a thing? Pop-Tarts are making that much money with their sponsoring bowls, too? Like, Pop-Tarts are still, like, really... And I love a good Pop-Tart.
Do you like it just out of the package or toasted?
I never take the time to toast it.
I mean,
Just out of the package.
I don't know if in my life I've ever toasted it.
You should, though. You should. Put a little butter on it. It's so
What
good.
if it's like
hoity-toity
strawberry
person
or like
has that much time?
the cookies and cream one? I'm not putting
maybe
butter
not
on that.
Well, if you do it with the cinnamon one, do it for the cinnamon
serial
one.
Killer?
I'm not. I wouldn't tell you if I was.
I'm cherry's my favorite, the cherry one.
It is very good. Blueberry is a good one, too.
I don't know if I've had that.
Yeah.
That used to be an easy go-to here over at 101 ESPN in the snack room. They were like $1. It was like bang for your buck. It's one of the worst foods you could possibly eat in terms of like what's in it.
Wait,
really?
Fakes you out.
Terrible.
Oh, don't tell
You
me
feel
that.
like you're eating
That and
fruit.
a pot pie. Go ahead and get that in your life. And a bloomin' onion. Which are all delicious.
They're all great.
All right, you guys ready to move on?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we have the Rockstar Gaming Miami Vice Bowl.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, this seems legit. Rockstar Gaming. So that's in Miami Vice. Like, so this is, what's the one? What's the game?
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
This seems real. Like, this is what the kids need to get behind. Kids sitting there playing Grand Theft Auto, throwing somebody out of the car,
Yeah, it's
picking
great.
up a prosty. Like, I think...
Punch out an old lady and
You
take
said
her
a
car.
Frosty?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like Dairy Queen. You know, they have the Frosty
Yeah,
or
for sure.
Shardies.
Yeah, this one's dipped. I'm saying that's real.
It's your choice.
Let's go real, Jamie.
Okay, sure.
I wish it was.
We wanted it so bad.
I did. I figured we have to figure out different ways to get the kids involved in all these sporting things. Attach yourself to their favorite gaming company.
All right, we got time for
That's
one
on
more,
me,
Marshy.
Jamie. That's on me.
All
All right.
right. I liked it.
We'll do one more. We have Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
Okay, so wouldn't it be called the Frosted Flakes Bowl?
He's getting a little uppity, isn't he?
Yeah, like he's nothing without Frosted Flakes. Or is Frosted Flakes nothing without Tony the Tiger?
Frosted Flakes are still delicious without Tony the Tiger.
See, I don't think they need the Tiger. Although it's nice add-on, but like when you think Frosted Flakes, like you think of the little flakes covered in sugar. Like I don't think
you
automatically
think about like tweaking after you eat it. It's got so much sugar.
It's got a little
Yeah. It's like Rice Krispies. Like, do you need the 3 little elves? No.
snap crack. But I will say this, that if you do put your ear down, you hear the little popping.
You
Not
hear it-
necessarily snack crack. Crapple. Crackle. Pop.
It's a wrong bowl.
That's the chocolatey ones.
Real bowl, though, Jamie.
Sure.
It's a real bowl.
Last one. Real bowl. Drum roll. You got it! And totally redeem ourselves.
We know our bowls, don't we?
We sure do, Brad. Well done.
Bowls to the wall here on 101 ESPN, too. We're going to plan a lot of these bowls.
We sure have. All right. It's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. We're going to get in some blues right before we have the Gauntlet at 4 o'clock. Is Robert Thomas having a better season than we think? We'll talk about that. We come back here on 101 ESPN. Are you currently looking to get a quote on insurance for your car or your home? Maybe you're not sure who to talk to, who to call. Let me help you out. Call Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. They work alongside Allstate Insurance. And one thing that I can tell you about Tracy Bibb is that they're going to offer you the customer service that you deserve. And I'll just take you back to my own personal experiences. I met Tracy Bibb, and of course, at the time, I didn't think I needed to switch providers. And she just asked me some easy questions. Hey, by the way, what are you paying for this? And I didn't really have the answer. Kind of knew, but then she said, well, what coverage do you have? I didn't know exactly what coverage I had. I just thought, well, if I get
Insurance?
I got insurance. I didn't know what the heck it covered. And all I wanted to do was get the lowest rate. Well, that didn't help me. I was certainly, there are situations that I'm lucky that nothing happened. And Tracy Bibb has taken care of me since then with excellent customer service. My children, too. There was a time when my daughter had a little fender bender, was obviously very rattled, stressed out, called Tracy Bibb, side of the road. Tracy Bibb walked her through it, talked her through all the process, and it was awesome. And she certainly felt like she was part of the Bibb family. And that's how you should feel, too. Don't pick up a phone and call a 1-800 number and talk to somebody who has no idea who you are and may not even ultimately care. Call Tracy Bibb for a free non-committal quote today. Her number is 314-352-4494. That's 314-352-4494. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb. Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson, and Andrew Marsh here. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss when it comes to the Blues is, a lot being talked about how the team maybe hasn't performed to certain people's expectations. Maybe they've exceeded other people's expectations.
Not Army's.
Maybe not, right? But when you look at the team overall, you got a young man right now who's leading your team in scoring, and I don't know if I saw it happening exactly this way. And that guy's Robert Thomas. And Robert Thomas was part of the package of players. Him and Jordan Kyrou signed, 8 times 8 contracts, 8 years, $8 million.
It's like $80 million, Jamie. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money.
It's a little less than that, but good guess, Brad.
If they invest properly.
Yeah, if they invest properly, sure.
They pony up. Sure. Forget about taxes.
Yeah, watch out for those taxes.
Play some blackjack.
But good point. That's always a great idea, by the way. No, it's not.
Just pyramid bet. You'll be fine.
It's just no good. But Jordan Kyrou has taken some heat a little bit this year for certain things, and he's got 23 points in 32 games. Certainly has the ability to get back to that 70 to 80 point range. But Robert Thomas leading the team right now at 35 points in 32 games. He's a plus 12 on the season. And that's, it's a stat that's like, take it or leave it. But being plus 12, that's kind of a statement. So even if there's a couple of goals here or there that he deserves or not to be on the ice.
Good things are happening when he's on the ice.
100%. And he plays against the other team's top matchups night in and night out. So what I ask of all of you, and you can text into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Heck, you can leave us a mic drop if you want on this. Get on the mobile app, push that little microphone, and leave us a mic drop. Marcia will get to it. But is Robert Thomas having a better season than we think? And I think the question to expand that is, did we think he was going to have this good of a season to where most of his points are coming at even strength? Because the power play has been abysmal.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, not great, Brad.
Oh, I didn't really dig into any of those numbers. Awful. Here's my question off the top. Who did you expect to be in the position that Robert Thomas is in leading the team in points?
Well, I thought it was one of 3 guys. And the 3 guys are still at the top of the food chain. It's Thomas, Buchnevich, and Kerber.
But it is.
I didn't think anybody else had the firepower to displace either of those guys.
It is a big jump, though, as we talked about early in the season, of jumping into the role of being the guy. You have the contract, and then you have the responsibility. O'Reilly's gone. And not that I think that Tarasenko was the overall leader, but he was the guy that the opposition looked at and said, hot damn, we got to account for this guy. And now you are one of those guys. So you mentioned playing against the other team's top lines. You're getting a lot of the attention. A lot of the game planning is surrounding you, and he's still able to get his points. I believe 23 assists right now. That's tied for 15th in the NHL. I would say he's having a great year. By the way, that's 23 assists on a team that has 90-something goals. They're 23rd in scoring in the NHL. Yes, he is having a very good year. The hard part is, this is any time when a team isn't living up to, or not even living up to expectations, when you're just not winning a ton. We've had this roller coaster. I think that oftentimes we don't look at the individual accomplishments and we look at the group. As a group, you're not winning enough, you're inconsistent. So maybe a season like Robert Thomas is having goes under the radar. But I'm glad you pointed out, because it shouldn't. This is the future of the Blues. He is signed up for the next 7 years after this one, right, Jamie?
Oh, yeah.
So this is your guy, and he's doing everything you could ask him to do.
So what I like about it, what I like and I don't like about what's going on is that Robert Thomas is on a 85 to 90 point pace right now. Again, with an abysmal power play. He has 0 power play goals on the season. He's got 12 goals overall.
Okay.
He's 3rd in the league, I believe, in 5-on-5 points. The 2 guys that are ahead of him, pretty good hockey players.
Name them. If I know who they are, they're good.
Nathan McKinnon.
Heard of him.
And Nikita Kucherov.
Yeah, both of those guys.
Yeah, they're the only 2 guys that are ahead of Robert Thomas.
What's Kucherov's nickname?
Coochie.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Figured
he actually demands it.
Yeah.
And
Does he go with a Y or an IE?
It's more of an IE.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he says you got to say it a certain way, too. He's
get
hey,
it.
Coochie.
Why does he make you wink at him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways.
He's a hell of a player, though.
Sure
we just saw him firsthand, had a couple of goals against the Blues.
Giver.
He sure is. Distributor, they call that, Brad. And Robert Thomas being 3rd in the league in 5-on-5 points.
Something.
It is something. So imagine now if the power play can actually get some traction. Let's say the power play starts.
Okay, imagine somebody gave me $300 million.
Let's imagine that the Blues power play is operating at, 16% instead of 9 or 10.
All right.
That means Robert Thomas is going to get we call those bonus points. That could get him to anywhere between 90 and 100 points this year. If that's the case, that's $8 million well spent.
Do you see, you're not going to go from last place to first place, but do you see the pieces?
It has happened.
Okay, great. Maybe it will happen. Do you see the pieces in place where this power play can get a lot better than it is currently?
It should. I don't understand it. I watch it, and I understand because there's times where there's some overpassing. There's times where there's not enough movement by the players on the ice. There's times where there's a shot that could be had. It's not had. There's blocked shots. There's missed opportunities. All of the above has led to the power play not succeeding. But that being said, if you look at the overall power of the guys that are on the ice, the offensive output, like Torrey Krug, people can say what they want. He's one of the highest scoring power play defensemen in the last 10 years in the NHL.
So it was one of the biggest draws of bringing him in.
It was. That was, you're going to have a quarterback to your power play. So I think that this power play has obviously nowhere to go but up. But the positive...
Well, they do have 9.9% they could go down.
That's tough.
Well, that's not true because you have some goals. You're never going to get to zero at this point.
Never going to get to zero at this point, which is a positive.
Yeah.
But I do think that this power play will get better. They're simplifying some things. They're putting more pucks on net. They will find some kind of a rhythm and chemistry. And when they do, that'll help compete in games, and it'll certainly help boost some of the points for some of these top scorers.
Jamie, this is something that you've pushed back on in the past, but I wonder now with the troubles with the power play, again, 9.9%, that's the bottom of the NHL, just a tad bit off the top of the NHL, which is over 33%. So there's some room. There's a little bit of room there. Do you think, and this could only happen at home games at Enterprise, do you think that it would help if everyone yells, shoot, as soon as they're on the power play and you get the stick, puck on the stick? Because as you mentioned, at times, a little bit of overthinking. Oh, do I make the extra pass? A little tic-tac-toe. Sometimes you just got to Fulton Reed, let it eat.
You do.
Yeah.
And you know what, Brad? At this point, I encourage Blues fans to yell, shoot.
Yes.
Because not yelling it hasn't worked so far, so we might as well yell it. And speaking of letting it out here a little bit, Janet is back with another mic drop.
Yes.
Here. Janet, what do you got to say?
The Blues are playing to their talent level. They're not playing to their money that's given to them, but they're playing to their talent level. You can't expect people to play better than what they're able to. And this is just a mediocre team, and it'll be mediocre until these contracts wear out and they can finally sign somebody that is good, like a Matthew Tkachuk or a Brady Tkachuk. Unfortunately, they'll probably be quite a bit older by then.
I'll take the Tkachuk's dog at this point.
Yeah, those are two pretty good players, and they play the game the right way. They're unicorns in today's game.
Yes, a little throwback.
A lot
toughness,
of throwback.
Probably could handle being coached, which is nice. Like if you're looking for that, probably care about being a 200-foot player. I think she does bring up a really good point, though. Like we always do this. Like he signed this long-term contract. He's got to be this. By the way, Thomas is that. Like he is playing up to that level. He's earned his contract, as you've mentioned. We've seen some better things from Carey. We saw it last year. Like you know what is in there for him, and you see why they gave him the deal that they did. But the team overall, it's not incredibly talented. So all of the little things that you talked about earlier, Jamie, and all of the little things that Drew Bannister is going to focus on, those have to be there. If you want to be a playoff team, you can't make mistakes. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. And as you laid out perfectly earlier, and for those that didn't listen, you better download that podcast because Jamie broke it down perfectly. And that was all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto. Cha-ching. They have to come out with a reckless abandon and go out and put it on other people. Because if not, you're just not talented enough to just go back and forth with everybody.
Well said, man. Very well said. That's Brad Thompson, Jamie Rivers here, Andrew Marsh. When we come back, it's the most exciting 15 minutes of your life. It's the Gauntlet here on 101 ESPN.
one challenger. Can you master the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit masstour.com.
It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. It is time for the gauntlet. We've got David returning today. David, how we doing, bud?
Doing pretty good, Jamie.
All right, I heard you beat Anthony in hockey yesterday.
Yeah, is that why he's not here today?
Oh, he's pouting.
I hurt his feelings?
Yeah, he was upset. He took it pretty hard, David. I'm just saying.
The guy is a competitor, Jamie, as you know.
Yes.
Like stuff like that is going to wear on him a little bit.
It is. All right, David, so you got your pick today of Marshy, myself, or BT. We'll throw BT in the mix, too. Who do you feel like playing against today?
Well, the last time I was on, BT is the one who finished my hopes of getting a trophy, so I'm going to go with Andrew Marsh.
Oh, I thought we had a revenge match going there. Oh, wow.
I mean, smart call by you, obviously, but really went the other direction. All right, so Marshy is passed over. All right, so Marshy, are you...
Hang on, we got David. Tell Marshy to spin the wheel so we can kick Marshy out of here.
Oh, beat it, Marshy.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
All right, Marshy spun the wheel. Now he's vacating the premises, and the cone of silence is wide open. Mike Ryder's gone home. There's nobody working here today. It's just us.
So, Jamie, it could happen. You and I go off the rails. We can say whatever we want. No one would come shut us down. That's the scary part. We have a winner, though.
We do have a winner. What did you want this time, David, against Marshy?
I was kind of hoping for random.
Yeah, you didn't get random. You got baseball.
Well, all the more reason not to pick BT.
Yeah, seriously. Although, I'll tell you what, Marshy's turned into a little bit of a mega mind when it comes to baseball.
He's a baseball guy. He's a baseball hockey guy.
I'm just saying, David, you better bring your A game, buddy.
I'll pack a lunch.
There you go. All right. So, to recap here, the rules, it's pretty simple. There's 4 questions. Each question's worth 2 points. If David uses the options and answers correctly, it's worth 1 point. And, of course, if he gets it wrong, he gets 0 points. David, are you ready?
Let's do this.
All right. Again, category is baseball. Question 1. Jordan Walker was the Cardinals' first-round choice and the 21st selection overall in the 2020 MLB draft. Can you name the organization that owned the number 1 pick that year? Woof.
In the 2020 draft?
Yes, sir.
Well, there's a couple teams on the bottom floor there, so I'll take the options.
All right. Was it the Chicago Cubs, the Baltimore Orioles, or the Detroit Tigers?
Baltimore and Detroit have been near the bottom the past couple of years, so I'm going to go with Baltimore.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Thank you.
All right, question number 2. Rafael Palmeiro's slightly tainted 20-year career. Slightly. Included 569 home runs, 3,020 hits, and how many different teams?
$20 years. Give me the options, please.
Did he play for 3 teams, 5 teams, or 6 teams?
I'm going to go with 3. Final answer.
All right, David, question number 3. The last Cardinal to smack 10 or more triples in a single season did so in 1997. Who was that player?
97, 13 triples. Let's have the options on this one, please.
Sure. Was it Tony Womack, Delano DeShields, or Fernando Vina?
I am going to go with number 4, Fernando Vina.
All right. Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, question number 4, David. Ichiro Suzuki, he captured AL Rookie of the Year and MVP honors in 2001. Before he took the majors by storm, Ichiro played overseas for what Japanese Pacific League club?
Wow.
Everybody's getting in Japanese baseball.
Grant's angry at everybody with these questions.
You couldn't just ask what team he played for?
Yeah, what team did he play for?
Major League, sorry. What team he played for Major League?
In Japan.
No, that'd be too easy.
I know. Give me the options on this one, please.
Did he play for the Oryx Blue Wave, the Nippon Ham Fighters, or the Tokyo Lions?
This is a complete shot in the dark, but we're going to go with the Ham Fighters. Final answer.
All right, David. All right, let's bring in Marshy here. He's snacking on probably Mike Ryder's chocolates in there that Mike Ryder left behind. I mean, All right, Marshy's coming back in here. Marshy, how you doing, bud? Oh, that's right. He's got to go through his game face thing here.
He does have a bit of a routine, huh?
He drinks the water, even though there's no water in there.
That's
a little bit, just a little bit.
A little smidge. Were you eating Mike Ryder's chocolates in there?
No, I wasn't, but maybe I should have.
I thought
they're pretty good.
You dipping in there.
No, I was just listening to some music.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, never mind the chocolates. You should pack a lunch.
Okay.
Marshy, your category is baseball.
All righty.
Question 1. Jordan Walker was the Cardinals' first-round choice and the 21st selection overall in the 2020 MLB draft. Can you name the organization that owned the number 1 pick that year?
2020, eh? Was it the Baltimore Orioles? Did they draft Adley Rutschman? Let's use the options.
Okay. Was it the Chicago Cubs, the Baltimore Orioles, or the Detroit Tigers?
Let's go with the Orioles. Final answer.
All right, Marshy, question number 2. Rafael Palmeiro, his slightly tainted 20-year career included 569 home runs, 3,020 hits, and how many different teams?
Options.
3, 5, or 6?
Let's go with 6. Final answer. It's a good number.
It's a serious number.
It's a great number. You're not wrong, Marshy. All right, question number 3. The last Cardinal to smack 10 or more triples in a single season did so in 1997. Who was that player?
Options.
Was it Tony Womack, Delino DeShields, or Fernando Vina?
97, huh?
Yeah.
How old were you, Marshy?
I was 1 year old.
Don't like that.
Yeah, you remember this.
Let's go with, who was it? Delino DeShields? We'll go with him. Final answer.
Final answer.
All right, question number 4, Marshy. Ichiro Suzuki, he captured AL Rookie of the Year and MVP honors in 2001. Before he took the majors by storm, Ichiro played overseas for what Japanese Pacific League club?
Options.
Did he play for the Oryx Blue Wave, the Nippon Ham Fighters, or the Tokyo Lions?
I think it's the Lions, but man, do I want to use the Ham Fighters. Is that their name?
Yeah, the old Ham Fighters. Nippon Ham Fighters.
I don't know the answer to this question.
They're called the Nippon Paper Cranes.
Oh, these are different. This is the Nippon Ham Fighters.
I got to go with the Ham Fighters. It's just way too cool of an answer to not choose. So,
right.
Ham Fighters, final answer.
All right, BT, let's go over these. Let's start with question 1. Jordan Walker was the Cardinals' first-round choice and the 21st selection overall in the 2020 MLB draft. Can you name the organization that owned the number 1 pick that year? David, with the options, you said the Baltimore Orioles. Marshy, with the options, you said the Baltimore Orioles. Answer is...
It is the Detroit Tigers.
Detroit Tigers.
Spencer Torkelson was first off.
Oh, Spency. Spency.
It's all right. Everything's all even Steven still. Nothing hurt.
All right, let's go to question 4. Ichiro Suzuki captured AL Rookie of the Year and MVP honors in 2001. Before he took the majors by storm, though, Ichiro played overseas for what Japanese Pacific League club? David, you said, give me the Ham Fighters.
Yeah.
Marshy, you said, give me the ham fighters. Both of you used the options. Answer is...
I love the ham fighters. But the answer is the Blue Wave.
Oh, yeah.
Oryx Blue Wave.
All right, BT, can we get a score update, please?
Yeah, that would be carry the 2-0-0.
All right, question 3. And we'll actually go back to question number 3, the real question number 3. The last Cardinal to smack 10 or more triples in a single season did so in 1997. Who was that player? David, you took the options. You said Fernando Vina. I don't know why I say it all the time like that, but it feels right. And Marcia, you took the options. You said Delino DeShields. Answer is...
Delino DeShields.
Yeah! Hey. Delino DeShields had 14
That's a
year.
lot of triples.
Marshy up 1-0, headed into the final question. Final question. Rafael Palmeiro's slightly tainted 20-year career included 569 home runs, 3,020 hits, and how many different teams? David, you took the options. You said 3. Marshy, you took the options. You said 6. If David is right, we go to a walk-off. If Marshy is right, Marshy wins. If neither player is right, Marshy wins. BT, answer is...
The teams are the Cubs, the Rangers, the Orioles, and that's it.
That's
3.
It. David!
Walk it off.
We're walking it off, baby.
Wow.
We are walking it off.
Great pitching duel right now.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. The rules are as follows. I will read off the question. David, don't say a word. Marshy will have the first opportunity to write down his answer as fast as he can, or he can take as long as he wants. It's up to him. Not saying you'll cheat. Some people have in the past. Not saying you, David. But Marshy will write down his answer. As soon as he writes it down, David, we're going to come to you for an answer, and we need it quickly. No hemming or hawing and all that stuff. And then the closest to the pin will win today. Do you understand,
This is where
David?
we have to do math.
Sounds good. I'll try to make the math as simple as possible.
All right, BT, you're on that?
I'm ready.
You got the calculator, right?
Yeah, of course I have. What do you think?
All right, our overtime tiebreaker question here.
I really shouldn't need a calculator on this.
No kidding.
So I feel doing my kids' work.
All right, here we go. The Cardinals last made the NLCS in 2019. That squad's leading home run hitter was Paul Goldschmidt, who mashed how many long balls that year?
All right.
Marshy?
Marshy has got his
All
answer.
right, we have Marshy's answer. David?
42.
All right, we've got a winner here. David?
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Not today.
Marshy, what was your answer?
36.
36. The real answer is 34. Marshy missed by 2. David, great job today, buddy. Thanks a lot for playing along. Thanks for listening. And happy holidays, man.
Hey, happy holidays to you guys, and I'm going to go enjoy some Angel's Envy now.
Oh,
look at you.
Now, are you going with the bourbon or the finished rye?
I went with the finish ride.
Oh,
so sweet.
now you're killing me. Now I want to go. BT, you got the last 2 hours here, okay?
Sounds good.
Where can you get the Angels Envy?
You can get that at Dirt Cheap. Remember, have fun, but be careful out there, everybody. David, great job, man. Have a great
Good job,
holiday.
David.
You guys too. Thank you.
All right. That was a close one.
It was a really good one. Now I'm
Marshy,
thirsty, though.
I'm so thirsty.
Told you earlier,
pitching
I got a nice little care package Christmas gift from Chip with a couple of bottles in it.
John Kelly never sent me anything.
Well, you know,
what's going on?
Be a better partner.
You're not wrong. All right. Following the gauntlet here. Coming up next, we've got What's Trending on 101 ESPN.
what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Brad Thompson. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Shohei Ohtani was at the Los Angeles Rams game last night.
What?
And Yamamoto was supposed to be there as well. They introduced Shohei Ohtani last night at the game like he hasn't lived in L.A. for, the past 6 years?
It's incredible, isn't it? It's like, welcome to the real LA. It's like when you actually get into the real club, it's like, this is what they look like here? He's been on the Angels, Jamie, and they're rolling him out to the crowd. It's like, we accept you now. We expect you to actually be in the postseason. This is going to be fun.
Somewhere in between, like on the outskirts. You know, he basically lives in LA.
Sure. Do you think that if you're Shohei Ohtani, do you move? Like, it's not like he was hurting for money beforehand. Do you think that he's got a good
he probably
spread?
Lives somewhere, probably lives on, what beach is that?
The Pacific Ocean.
No, there's a specific beach. Newport Beach. Probably lives on Newport Beach.
Yeah.
And he probably just traveled, come on. He doesn't have to move. It's gorgeous there, too.
He's got chopper money, too. He could probably do that if you... No, don't do that.
Get to the chopper.
Don't do that.
That'd be kind of fun.
Sure.
Maybe he negotiated that in his deal.
I wouldn't. At this point, I just think that traffic is sometimes good for the soul. You know what I mean? Time to think.
Or just get a driver with a nice
he's got a driver.
SUV, kickback, PS5 in the back of the vehicle.
PS5? It'll be fun.
MLB The Show uses himself. Is that taboo, by the way? If you're a professional athlete, can you play with your own? Can you play with yourself?
Yeah. Huh? I think you have to.
Yeah.
It's weirder playing with other guys.
MLB The Show or that.
Isn't that weirder to play with another guy?
It is, but I think, wouldn't it be overkill if you're just playing with yourself the whole time?
No, maybe you learn some things about yourself. Like, holy cow, look how I manipulate this thing.
So were you ever in a video game?
Yeah, it was the coolest thing ever. The first time I was in a video game,
did you play with yourself?
The Show. Of course I play with myself.
Yeah.
I made all my friends play with me. I said, look, here's this game. You're all getting it. I don't care if you have an Xbox, a PlayStation, whatever. You guys are all playing with me.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas, because this is what's happening. It was the coolest thing ever. And then the games actually got smarter, and the games now are so good. I was playing Madden with my son yesterday. It's amazing, the technology now. But the first time, my guy was throwing 97 with super sinkers, boom. I'm like, man, I'm so good. And then the technology must have really changed in 06. Where I was you're like, no, you're not. You're 88 with a sloppy slider now. That's what you're going to be.
So I was
so true. That happened to me, too. I was an 85 rating. And then by the end, I was by the end, all I had was I could hit hard.
There you go.
I was a hard
That's an
hitter,
attribute.
But I couldn't handle the puck, nothing. But anybody I hit on the ice would destroy them.
No, and now the games, you could play all these different modes. Marshy, my guy'd be so valuable in the clubhouse. Like a real glue guy. That's not intangible.
GM mode.
Yes.
They actually have that on MLB Road to the Show, how tight you are with your teammates.
Do you see?
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Yeah, that's an intangible.
And by the way, you mentioned, some players playing with themselves or playing as themselves.
Yeah.
Max Fried from the commentary on the game, Buchnevich is on the game. He says in the game that Max Fried will pitch as himself against certain teams before he actually throws in real life to get to understand their tendencies and whatnot.
See? I mean, it's a tool.
So, yeah, playing with yourself is definitely beneficial.
It sure is. And my kids got involved in hockey based on the fact that I was in a video game.
Seriously?
They were
did it?
4 years old, maybe 5, and they got one of the NHL games for Christmas.
Yes.
And they were playing, and then they saw, that I was in a video game, and they told their mother.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Hey, Dad's in the video game. And she's like, well, yeah. And they go, well, we want to be in a video game. She goes, well, you should probably start playing hockey. They came running down and said, Dad, we want to play hockey.
There you go. Thank goodness they didn't get their hands on Grand Theft Auto first.
Well, then they could have played in the Rockstar
really
Games Miami Vice Bowl.
BT. Really, why did you just punch the neighbor in the face and take her car?
I was trying to somebody
By the way, I mentioned this in the office, and we needed to bring it up. Well, we didn't need to, but we're going to anyways. New studies show drinking Jaeger bombs could be just as harmful as taking cocaine.
Look, I can't give you the other side of this, okay? I don't know about the cocaine. It's a hell of a drug, is what I hear. But I know first turning 21 in Vegas, everybody was doing like the Jaeger bombs were a thing. Red Bull and Jaeger 2 was a Red Bull and vodka was a thing. But like Jaeger bombs. Jaeger is the only drink, Jamie, right now that when I think about it, I get that like pucker, that weird feeling in the back of your like jaw, like you want to puke thinking about it. Nobody's ever made a good decision after a Jaeger bomb. Like, there's never been like a boom Jaeger bomb. We started a charity. Like you don't hear a story like that. It never happens.
I mean,
so this has got to be legit. And I don't know chemically what is in Jaeger. I just know chemically what it does to humans. It ain't good. All right.
So my reaction is to Goldschlager.
Oh, I love Goldschlager.
Yeah, I did too.
It's got gold.
One?
No, it's got gold flakes in it.
It's like cinnamon.
Okay.
And it's got the gold flakes in it. And I used to love it too, Marshy, until somebody absolutely overserved me. Goldschlager. And one thing about that is it sneaks up on you.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a mule kick to you. Like you're like, oh, I have another shot. I feel great. I don't even feel this. All of a sudden you don't remember anything. It's like the movie The Hangover. You wake up, you're like...
the equivalent is Fireball now.
Yeah. And so for me, it's the Goldschlager. Jaeger bombs, I always thought Jaeger just tasted like awful wine. I just didn't like it.
Going back to your Goldschlager point, I also was kicked in the face by Goldschlager one night, and the bottle is glass, and, you know, my hand is going up to my mouth to drink it. If it went a little too fast, I ended up chipping my tooth because of it.
Nice.
Because of the Goldschlager.
Yeah, you just hammered that home.
Came in hot on that
Came in hot.
Little did we know that Marshy needs to drink with a mouth guard in.
How about that?
I'll chew on it like Matthew
athlete,
Kachuk. Hey, by the way, Tim from the Snake Pit here said, first time I ever threw a perfect game in an MLB game was actually with BT. How about that?
Nice.
Snake Pit.
BT, 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 BT. Hey, we had some texters in earlier who said that, the contestant on the Gauntlet, he said 32 and Marshy said 36. It should have been another question. Wonders of technology let us disprove some of our texters who may be into the Goldschlager or the Jaeger already. Here's actually what our contestant said. All right, here we go. The Cardinals last made the NLCS in 2019. That squad's leading home run hitter was Paul Goldschmidt, who mashed how many long balls that year?
All right.
Marshy?
Marshy has got his answer.
All right, we have Marshy's answer. David?
42.
Oh, 42 from David. David never complained, by the way. And BT, you brought up a great point.
Well, I just really feel like he'd have gone to the mat on that one had he actually been too off instead of saying, thanks, guys, try again.
Have a great holiday.
I appreciate everybody coming to his rescue. That wasn't necessary. But look, we did have evidence for anybody that didn't believe.
We play by the rules.
We of course generally play by the rules.
Generally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what the game is.
Let's see.
Want to win.
All right, that was What's Trending. BT, Marshy, me in here. We've got NFL 4 Downs coming up next year on 101 ESPN. If you are thinking about purchasing a home, maybe refinancing your current home, maybe consolidating debt, anything to do with that, Call our guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie's the best in the business. He always has incredible programs available for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And he loves taking care of our military veterans, making sure that they get the best deals too. He answers all of your phone calls. He answers your text messages. He also has the bagel loan. And what that is if you make a purchase of a home and you borrow $200,000 or more, there's no underwriting fees, there's no appraisal fees, no title fees, no lender fees, no closing costs. Stewie is absolutely taking care of you the entire time during the entire process, and he's available for you. Days, nights, weekends, doesn't matter. Call him or text him on his personal cell phone. That number's 314-324-4440. Again, that's 314-324-4440. Stewie's our guy, and he needs to be your guy. Give him a call soon at Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues win last night over the Jackson did that the other day. Over the Florida Panthers, 4-1 victory. The Blues will take on the Blackhawks tomorrow. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. We'll have all the coverage for you right here on 101 ESPN. We talked earlier today with Chris Kerber. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We'll have some bowl games on for you tomorrow leading up to the Blues game. We'll also have NFL action on Christmas Eve. Vikings and Lions, Bucks and Jags, Broncos and Patriots. Coming up next, we'll have our NFL 4 Downs. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff. Find new roads and shop 24/7 at londoff.com and londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. It's time for NFL 4 Downs.
First down.
All right, gentlemen. Jamie, this one's specifically for you.
No, I didn't make my pick last night.
I wasn't going to ask.
Okay. Well, I did.
You just outed yourself.
No, I did.
What? There were like 4. Remember when I was filling in last week?
Yeah.
Where the internet sucked for both of us?
It didn't work for me either.
Yeah, me too.
I never went back. And I lost like the last 5 games because
That's
of
why
it.
you suck so bad. You're supposed to get shot today.
I was struggling. Am I? No, I wasn't last night. I already won like 2 or 3.
Yeah, something. All right, Marshy, go ahead.
You can give it to me at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Has Baker Mayfield changed the narrative about himself?
Oh, Jamie, this is your guy. Go get it. Go ahead.
I think he has a little bit. Like, let's not get carried away here. It's not like somebody's going to trade for Baker Mayfield specifically to build a winner around him. But I think what Baker Mayfield has been able to do is change the narrative that he can't play in the NFL. Like, because in Cleveland, like, his departure was not like one of like, too bad we're losing this guy. His teammates liked him, but the staff felt like he really wasn't an NFL quarterback. He went over to the Rams. He had a big victory right away, and then that was just not a great team. So it was a little bit surprising that the Buccaneers signed him, but he's done fine. You know, the team's 500. They're leading the NFC South, probably going to work their way into a playoff spot. So I think if nothing else, Baker Mayfield has proven to the NFL that he can play in the league.
I think he's grown up. I would say yes, he has changed the narrative, because the thing right now around Baker Mayfield, we got so used to him just being a sideshow, and it really wasn't about the football as much, and that has changed. Now, obviously, coming off of a week like he had, 4 touchdowns, no picks, we're going to be high on somebody. But overall, I would say yes. Does that mean he's going to be an upper echelon elite quarterback in the league? No, maybe not. But can he still carve himself out something very positive for years to come? Absolutely. And I didn't think that was going to be the case for Baker Mayfield maybe a little over a year ago.
Did the Buccaneers re-sign him, do you think?
Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. Like, what else is out there? What might be available? Because there will be some quarterbacks on the move, because there's a couple of highly touted young quarterbacks in the draft, which means some of those teams are going to be looking to move quarterbacks from where they are currently.
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, though, I mean, this is a team right now for the Buccaneers. They're leading their division. They're going to be a playoff team most likely. So you're not drafting high. So you're not necessarily going to get one of those.
Trading for somebody.
I would rather, if I was going to do that, I'd honestly rather stick with the one that I know. If somebody else, I don't think the Buccaneers are at a point right now, Jamie, where they could trade for an unknown when they need every bit of like that draft capital anyhow. I might as well stick with the guy that is getting it done for me. Either if I'm trading anything, it's up to get one of the quarterbacks in the draft.
And one thing too is that division's not going to become a juggernaut in one off season. So you're still going to be competitive.
It might be a division where every coach gets fired.
It's in play.
I mean, that's a thing.
Second down.
All right, guys, we saw Puka Nacua yesterday.
We sure did.
He's having a great year. But is C.J. Stroud still the offensive rookie of the year? Even though he's injured.
I think he has to.
Say yes. I think that there was enough bulk of work for Stroud, who, not to say he came out of nowhere, obviously high draft pick, but I don't think anybody expected him to do what he did at that level.
With that team.
Yeah, and Puka Nacua, with the injuries and everything, he has stepped up. He's putting up unreal numbers, but it's still, to me, C.J. Stroud.
So for me, it's you put Puka Nacua into a team with Sean McVay as an offensive guy. Cooper Kupp was injured to start the season. You still had Matthew Stafford. I know he was banged up a little bit there, but the offense is geared towards highlighting somebody, and I think that he's a good player that was the benefactor of becoming the highlight because there was nobody else available. So Sean McVay figured out a way to get him the ball, and he caught it. He made good plays. So the player did a great job too. But I look at C.J. Stroud, and nobody expected this. Like, when he get drafted, people are, a lot of question marks.
We'll see.
Don't know if he can play the pro game, all this stuff with a Texans team that nobody expected much from. And he's turned that team into an 8-6 team. I know he's been injured here, but still. So I think C.J. Stroud for me is the guy.
I was listening to someone driving in. I forget who it was, but they were talking about Puka Nacua, and they had their draft sheet from BYU. Ended up getting drafted out of BYU. Went to Washington first, transferred over. But it was like the pre-draft write-up on him, and it was like, well, he's not fast, not overly good hands.
What?
There wasn't. The only good thing was that the really positive was he competes. And you're seeing that. You're seeing some size in Nacua. I mean, he's 220 pounds. He's physical. He's using that strength and obviously using that opportunity. But this is C.J. Stroud's.
All right, that was 2 downs. We're going to get to 4. We're going to get the 3rd and 4th down, and we're going to get into the Pick'em Challenge to see what some of our picks are for the weekend. Coming up next year on 101 ESPN.
I'm Dr. TJ from the Institute of Natural Health. I'm inviting you to check out our show, Wellness 101, every Sunday at 7 a.m. right here on ESPN. On Wellness 101, we talk about how to optimize your health as well as all things health-related.
ESPN.
Refreshed by Bud Light.
Well, you sure know how to pick them.
Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. We're going to finish NFL 4 downs, and then we'll get into our Pick'em Challenge. Marshy.
Third down.
All right, gentlemen. For third down, which contender is lying in the weeds?
Just lying in the weeds. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think there's anybody like lying in the weeds. So you're either a contender or you're not this year, in my opinion.
Jamie, recency bias, okay? Recency bias. What about the Rams?
No.
As a team that's lying in the weeds. You're telling me right now you want to go play against the Rams in the playoffs? There's so much parity in this league right now. They can put up points. Stafford's playing as good a football as we've seen him play. They've won 5 out of their last 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that is a team. If somebody's going to be lying in the weeds, it could very well be the Rams, who look pretty impressive over the Saints.
So my team is a team that wasn't lying in the weeds at all. Then they disappeared. Now I think they're lying in the weeds, and that's the Buffalo Bills. New offensive coordinator. He's changed some things around. He's taken the ball out of Josh Allen's hands at certain times, and he's got the running game going. He's spreading out the ball a little bit. That team looked pretty darn good. So
I like that.
They're sitting at 8-6 right now. I just think that that's a team, if they continue to play this way, they could be lying in the weeds.
They were supposed to be.
Like, that's what I'm saying. But then they kind of disappeared, and everybody's like, oh, they're crap this year. Oh, it's all over. Now they're kind of like creeping their way back in, and they beat a really good team last week. So it's like, well, if they could do that to the Cowboys.
The postseason, the playoffs are going to be really fun in the NFL because you really don't know what to expect from each and every team here on any given, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday this weekend.
Depending on,
Oh, your turn, Marshy.
I thought you were going to say something.
No, that was all I had.
Fourth down.
All right, well, the Monday night game between the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens should be a pretty good one. Will Monday night's game decide who wins the MVP?
Ooh, no.
I say no, too.
No. I think McCaffrey's in there. I don't think Lamar is in the discussion.
He's second right now when you're looking at the
He's had
the
an
voting.
okay year, but other guys, like I think Brock Purdy and McCaffrey and Tyreek.
So here's my thing. So obviously this is a Brock Purdy. No, this is a Purdy Lamar Jackson centric conversation as it's the Ravens and 49ers. Brock Purdy is not the MVP of his own team. So that ends up being
Who is?
I don't know. Christian McCaffrey, maybe.
What?
I'm sorry.
How many passes does Christian McCaffrey catch if he doesn't have Brock Purdy passing to him?
Well, I would just say this offense looked pretty good with Jimmy G or whoever, anybody other than Trey Lance. For some reason, this offense looked pretty good here for them. So, he will likely win. If he does, that's a great story. Like the Mr. Irrelevant to an electric offense. But I think that Lamar Jackson is more of an MVP than Brock Purdy is. But I still think that this might fall. Could go Dak Prescott, how this goes down the stretch. And it could be your guy, too, and Allen. I think that those are the guys. I don't think that this game just definitively says who the MVP is.
It'll be a great game, though. So, all right, that's NFL 4 downs. Let's roll it into the pick'em here. We got a few minutes to talk about some of these games. Let's start off Bengals and Steelers. Who do you guys have?
Oh, Cincinnati.
Okay.
Going with the Steelers. Yeah, a lot of dysfunction there. Tomlin has been upset.
Mason Rudolph.
He's been angry. Look, if there's not a time for Rudolph, when is it? Jamie? When
you make a great point. Actually, you know what?
This season.
I never thought of it.
I mean,
I don't know if Jamar Chase is playing either.
Oh my God,
this is Steelers.
You got me. I got nothing. I feel like I'm going to pick the Steelers now too. Yeah, can't you? All right, Bills, Chargers.
It's the Bills, man.
Yeah, it's the
Chargers
Bills.
suck.
Guys, I just said we're going to go through them. I didn't mean it was like a big
I'm
debate.
sorry. I didn't know I thought we were having conversations
No,
on
we
some
can.
of these games.
Some of these, yeah. Colts, Falcons.
Oh, definitely the Colts.
I got the Colts.
Who's watching this?
Nobody.
Anthony. You know what? For Anthony on Christmas Eve, who's going to be a maker's marker 2 into this noon
boy, is he ever.
kickoff, I'm going with the Falcons.
All right. Seahawks, Titans.
Boy, Seahawks are they're an interesting team, aren't they?
It's
just this or
They're
that.
like a box of chocolates, BT.
Right, I've eaten in the entire box
You just
that
never know
we
what you're
got
gonna
here
get.
from work.
Yeah.
I'm still going Seahawks.
I got the Seahawks, especially after Drew Lock put together that game last week. So I'm going there.
Geno Smith said, so excited for his opportunity. It'd be great. Good for him. Drew, who Anthony Stalter has never believed in.
Never.
Even at Mizzou. He said, this guy's a Saturday quarterback. That's it. That turns out mainly right. But maybe not this weekend.
Marsh, who you got?
I'm going with Seattle as well. I need them to lose, though, for my Minnesota Vikings, but I'm going Seattle.
All right. Lions and Vikings. Marshy, go first. I know this is hard for you.
Oh, man.
Go with your head, not your heart. Or your heart, not your head. Whatever you like.
Tough loss last week. I think the Lions win this week, unfortunately.
BT?
Is all the luster starting to wear off of the Lions?
No.
It seems like people are starting to get a little off their bandwagon.
By the way,
but not against the Vikings.
You mentioned the Rams. Right now, as it stands, the Rams and Matthew Stafford would take on the Lions in Detroit.
Yeah, they get pummeled. Hear
First
me roar.
round of the playoffs.
I got the Lions on this one.
I mean, the Rams would totally win that game.
All right. Now, this one here, probably the most watched game in America. Commanders, Jets. Who do you guys
Oh, man.
You know what? It doesn't matter who we pick. Nobody's going to watch. So I'll give me the Jets. Jets, Jets.
the Commanders.
I have Washington as well.
Pack Panthers. I think we all have the Packers on that one.
Yeah, the Panthers, boy, they're due for something good.
Well, they won last week.
They got their win.
No, I know.
Yeah, they beat the Falcons.
Let's get it going
Beat
again.
the Falcons.
Ooh, that's why I picked them. That's why I picked them for a bounce back.
Or 9-7.
Offense is really going to get rolling.
All right,
go Pack.
Browns, Texans. Is Stroud in or out?
I think he might be out.
I think he's out.
He's out. Yeah, he's out.
What do you got?
Get the Browns.
Okay.
Defense will travel.
I think they got away with one last week.
Get him, Joe Flacco.
Winning against the Titans. I don't think they do again this week. I'm going with the Browns.
All right, Buccaneers, Jaguars.
Should actually be a good game. I'm
in
going
Tampa.
I'm going Jags here.
I'm going Bucks.
Yes, Bucks.
I just pumped up Baker Mayfield a little bit. Now I'm going to
chop them
pump the
down.
brakes a little bit.
All right, the next barn burner here. Cardinals at the Bears.
Wow.
Nobody's watching this. Not even the guys on the sidelines are watching this game.
Who wins? None of us
No.
watching this one.
I got the Bears.
Love is playing for his future, I think.
Who?
I'm Love. My God.
Kyler?
Fields? No,
Murray?
Fields. Jeez.
Oh.
Here we are.
Speaking of makers.
I want to thank the Bourbon Company for that. No, Fields is playing for his life. I think we'll go that direction.
That's drastic.
Well, it's tough league.
Chicago's tough
That's
city,
been
I
all
know,
the
but
talk,
my
right? Is like,
goodness.
what are they going to do? Are they going to stick with him? Are they going to draft a guy early on? I think that he's trying to continue to prove his point.
I also have the Bears.
All right. Cowboys, Dolphins. This
What
is
a
going to be a
game.
good one.
I'm looking forward to this one. I think those boys win this one. You talk about narratives on both sides. The Dolphins, they can't beat anybody. The Cowboys, they can't go on the road and win. One of these things is going to have to break. I think the Cowboys beat the Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins at home just because I think the Cowboys suck on the road.
That's the narrative
It
until
is.
this
I'm
weekend.
playing right into it.
I also have the Dolphins too, just because of what you just said. You can't go against the numbers.
$20, both of you.
Okay, you're on.
Done.
All right, Patriots, Broncos, nobody cares, but I got the Broncos.
Yeah, the Patriots already screwed up the draft by winning that third game. They're not going to make that mistake again.
No, they're not. Marshy?
Go Broncos.
All right, we all got the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Nope, I got the Raiders. That's my upset pick of the week.
You're a liar. You don't have the Raiders.
Well, maybe they'll cover.
Chiefs for everyone. Giants, Eagles, we got the Eagles. And then the last one here, which is definitely going to be the best game, I think, overall. Ravens, 49ers. Marshy, who you got?
I wanted to go with the Ravens, but my brain is telling me go with the 49ers. I think they're the most complete team in the NFL right now.
BT?
This is Niners for me, and I think it's a fairly easy decision.
Yeah, me too. I think the Niners, man, they have a juggernaut on the offense and on the defensive side. That's a hell of a team right now. So I've got the Niners, and well, Niners as well, and that's our Pick'em Challenge here.
Did you get your picks in?
I did.
Yeah, me too.
Except for last night, I didn't have that one in there.
So I think I got last night, but I missed like 5.
Yeah, you're fine. We'll be fine.
We already won. Who cares?
We're good. We're good. All right, it's the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. We're going to dive back into the Cardinals here just for a little bit and find out, is there any move the Cardinals could make right now that makes them even somewhat competitive with the Dodgers? That next here on 101 ESPN. Wrestling here on 101 ESPN. Before the break, I asked, is there any move that the Cardinals could make right now or in the near future that makes them competitive with the Dodgers? BT, your thoughts?
Yeah.
What move is that, Brad?
Resurrecting Bob Gibson would help. I do think. No, like here's the thing.
He'd be good on this. Where do you think he'd rank on this one? Was he a 2 or 3?
I mean, it depends which version we're getting. I'd say near the top.
Probably an ace.
Top. Yeah, we'll see.
But Gibby might pitch 3 games in a row.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Luckily, got your own Gibby now, Kyle Gibson.
You do.
Who I'm still, again, not sure if the fan base will embrace the nickname of Gibby, but I think you should because you're going to love this guy. I mean, it's just been his nickname.
Anthony was like, I don't know if we can call him Gibby. I'm like, but his name's Gibby.
Yeah, it's Gibby.
It's Gibby.
Well, his name's Kyle Gibson, but
yeah, but
he
his
goes by
nickname
Gibby.
It's Gibby. So
of course he goes by Gibby.
I mean, he's not doing it to, like, his name's not like Kyle Johnson, but call me Gibby because I'm like,
how good it's going to be.
That's right. He's not doing that.
No. So here's the thing. When it comes to is there a move to be made that puts you on their level? The first thing that I would say is there's a move to be made that like gets you in the conversation, and that's adding to the front end of your rotation again. So that's Montgomery at this point.
That ain't happening.
No, it's not likely to happen. Now, you could end up making a deal for the front end of your rotation, and that's potentially Dylan Cease, as Glass now obviously gone. He is a member of the Dodgers as well, because everybody goes to the Dodgers at this point, Jamie. But to me, that's how you do it. We were talking a little bit earlier about how do you beat the Dodgers, and I'm not talking about how you beat them for 162. They're going to win their division. Like, that's going to happen. I mean, who knows? Anything could happen, but they're probably going to win the West. But how do you beat them in the postseason? And you beat them by running into a couple of aces. That's how you beat them. That's how you beat any good team, is they run into very good pitching. Now, anybody can pitch like an ace on a given day. We know that. So that could be game 1 of the postseason for the Cardinals. Could be Sonny Gray. Game 2 could be Miles Michaelis, and they can both shut down the Dodgers or whoever else, right? Whoever you want to put out there. You're shaking your head in the affirmative. So thank you for that. Oh, no, sorry, that was the other way.
No, it wasn't.
That very well could happen. But that's really the only thing on paper that I look like. A lot of things are going to have to come in to play here for the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to have to tighten up defensively. They're going to have to tighten up. Their young players are going to have to take some big strides forward, and their stars are going to have to star. Goldie and Arenado are going to have great years wire to wire. Like, that's going to have to happen to win. Forget compete with the Dodgers. You're not in the Dodgers division. Okay, you'll see the Dodgers in October. There's a lot of work before you end up getting to that part. And then I think the other part, Jamie, that comes into this is if you are in a position where John Mozeliak looks at this ball club around the trade deadline, the Cardinals are in a good place, and you need that whole sledgehammer for the fly, then go get it. Like, if there's something there that could put you over the top and put you in a conversation where you believe that you could knock off any team. Now, forget the Dodgers. You don't just pick a team and say, I gotta build that. But if there's a place to add, that's where you add.
Yeah, so this is a tough one because when you look at it on paper, there's just no way to answer this truthfully and say, oh, yeah, they could be competitive with the Dodgers. But when you break it down the way you did, BT, it can happen. And to your point, it's not like you're trying to beat the Dodgers in 162 games and take first place in their division. 2 things. 1, you're not in their division. And 2 is you just got to, if you're the Cardinals, you got to focus on whether it's a 3 out of 5 or a 4 out of 7 series against the Dodgers. Probably more a 4 out of 7, right? By the time they get to the Dodgers?
You would think so.
Okay. I still feel like even if the Cardinals can catch them off guard with a couple of rock star performances from Sonny Gray, Miles Michaelis, let's say Lance Lynn battles, but to win 4 games against the Dodgers is a tall order. You're going to need some luck. You're going to need your stars to star, like you said. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, guys like Nolan Gorman are going to have to be big boppers. You're going to have Jordan Walker has got to continue to develop. Like, you're really hoping for things to be developing the right way come playoff time. It's a tall order. I mean, that Dodgers team, to look at it right now and just put it side by side, you're like, even if the Cardinals get lucky for the first 2 games, then what?
Yeah, well, it's been a tall order, though. That's the thing with the Dodgers. They have built a team that is a perennial contender. They've been in the postseason 10 years in a row. They've been in the World Series 3 out of the last 7, and they added a couple of more huge pieces to this. But it's not that easy. This team won 100 games last year, and they got bounced by the Diamondbacks. They won 111.
So let's sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Let's drop into that for a second. So the Diamondbacks, who did they have as far as, like, their stars.
Zach Gallen at the top of their rotation was a guy. Corbin Carroll, obviously an emerging star as a rookie, but they don't have a team like the Dodgers do by any means.
But now the Dodgers didn't have Ohtani or Yamamoto either.
Well, they didn't need them.
But that's my point is that the Diamondbacks were the team that were able to come up and surprise them. They put together enough games in a row to oust the Dodgers in a playoff series. I just don't know if you're able to do that now.
It doesn't have to be them, right? That's the concept, and that's the beauty of October baseball. That could be anybody. Yes, like every Cardinal fan would love to be able to look at their roster and just go like this to any other fan. Look at that. Good freaking luck. Season hasn't even started yet. We're in December. Good luck. You got no chance. Like, the Cardinal fans don't have that. You have a good roster, maybe not a great roster when you're looking at everybody else. You have to earn it throughout 162 games and then a postseason run. But the best team on paper doesn't always win a World Series. The team that spends the most money doesn't always win a World Series.
No, we saw that last year.
Of course, like we all would love the Cardinals to have spent $325 million plus a posting fee on Yamamoto. That's fun for us. We don't care. But that's not the way that they have operated in the past. It's obviously not the way they plan on operating here in the near future. And they win different ways. They believe in drafting and developing. They believe in sprinkling around the money, make a good trade, and then keep a guy. We've seen it with Nolan. We've seen it with Goldie. We've seen it with Matt Holliday and Jim Edmonds and Mark McGwire. Like, that is the way that they have done it for a long time. And ultimately, that has worked. It has been very successful. I guarantee we get a text. Air Comfort Service text line, 314-396-96. Wait, what is it? 9690. Wait, 9646.
It's up there on the big board, Brad.
The board's behind me, Jamie. I'm looking at you, and it's been a minute.
You can shoulder check.
Just text it, you know. But it says, successful. They haven't won a World Series since 2011. This has been a perennial playoff team. This has been a team that has had a structure. And again, it's hard because you don't look at other organizations very often. You're focused on yours. You want to win every year, and that's where the expectation is. And I promise you, that's where the organization wants the expectation. They want the fan base to be pissed if they miss the postseason.
Yeah.
They want the fan base to be upset if they're 20 games under 500. They want you to feel like that and buy in like that when they're winning and they're losing. But the goal is to win. But that being said, they still are not going to spend $1 billion on two players. They have not operated like that. And actually, until this last week, no team in baseball has ever operated like that.
It's unprecedented. He's Brad Thompson, Jamie Rivers. DJ Marshy Marsh is over here working the board, and Marshy's going to get to work as the Sports Six-Pack up next. So if you have a question of any kind, text it to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll get to the six-pack next here on 101 ESPN.
Cheap, fun.
It's the holiday season, and there's no better place to get all of your spirits than Dirt Cheap, St. Louis's one-stop party shop. They have an incredible selection of beer, wine, rum, and how about the bourbons? That's right. I'm a bourbon guy, and they take great care of me, and they will you, too. They've got high-end bourbons, too. They've got the Angel's Envy. They've got Elijah Craig. They've got Blanton's. Dirt Cheap is talking about the price, not the product. And they also have some great raffles that happen over there. They just had a raffle not too long ago. They had a bottle of Blanton's out there. We had a lucky winner that came into the store and registered and did all those great things. And another thing you can do to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the savings or any of the specials is download the Dirt Cheap app. It's fantastic. And again, you get all of these updates and notifications on specials and even some of the raffles that are coming up. You have VIP clubs that you can be a part of. And of course, the best thing about all of it is the spirits. It's holiday time. You're spending money on all sorts of crazy stuff right now. You've got the kids, the relatives, everybody to take care of. Take care of yourself and save money when you go into Dirt Cheap. So please walk into Dirt Cheap. Tell them Jamie Rivers said hi. And it's holiday season, which means have fun, but be careful out there.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's a Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. Brad Thompson, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh. It's time for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
From the 217, in Japan, KFC has become a traditional Christmas food. Doesn't fried chicken sound a lot tastier than a traditional Christmas ham?
Yeah, so let's just get something straight here. I'm not a big Christmas ham guy. Like, I love the Thanksgiving turkey.
Okay.
For sure. The ham, I could go without it.
Really?
Yeah, the ham is boring to me.
No. I like a good ham. I love leftover
ham
ham
fighters.
too.
The Nippon ham fighters?
Nippon ham fighters. I love leftover ham too, frying that up, ham and eggs. But yeah, I'm good with the ham. I love the turkey, but fried chicken, if like
Give
my
me a
family,
bucket of KFC.
if the family just said, you know what we want to do this year? We want to do fried chicken. Yes, in.
Oh, yes.
I'm in. I've been pushing to even try to make, I told you earlier, I was trying to push for like destination. Like, let's go somewhere else. Like, nobody has to work. Nobody has to do anything. It hasn't caught on yet. But even like, hey, if we want to do a fiesta, it's tacos, it's answer. Let's do it. Like, I love Mexican food. I'm in.
Feliz Navidad,
yes,
baby.
I'm in.
Right?
I don't need the traditional dinner.
No.
The 618 says that they do a brisket for Christmas. That sounds really
Brisket's
good,
a good
too.
one. It's a really good one.
I'm good.
Prime rib's a good one. I mean, a lot of people do that.
Do you guys like deviled eggs?
No.
They're all right.
The consistency just... What? When you eat them and you got... I'm like, that.
I could eat 100
No, I
of
know
those.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Everyone, like, I'll get one. I'm like, that's okay. And then get another one. And go, I'm going to do the kid thing where you just spit it out in your own mouth. I'm gonna throw it.
No, thanks.
Question number 2.
All right, from the 217, Jamie, do you think Chief will get into the Blues Hall of Fame?
He better. I mean, how many other Blues head coaches have won the Stanley Cup?
Give me a second, Jamie. You know I'm not a hockey guy.
Go through it, Brad. Work
Do you
it
have
out.
your calculator out?
He's working through it.
Well, and Hitch. Yeah, you loved him. Keenan. No, he's the one.
He's the only one.
Sole member
For the Blues.
Yeah, for the Blues. That's what I mean. Won a Stanley Cup with the Blues. That's the Blues Hall of Fame. Otherwise, it'd be the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Who has to check off on this?
Which there are a lot of coaches that have won Stanley Cups.
are.
Just not for the Blues.
That's right. Well done, Andrew. Look at you go.
Who votes on the Blues Hall of Fame?
I think, well, the fans, there's a fan vote, and then there's a panel. And
is Army on it? Too soon.
Well, Hitch got in.
That's true.
Hitch got in. He got fired, too.
That's true. You know what? Good call.
Yeah. And a lot of the guys that got in got traded and stuff before. Like Brett Hall got traded, didn't get re-signed. So the Blues, listen, it's a no-brainer. Craig Berube, not only is he enshrined into the St. Louis Blues forever, he will be enshrined in the Blues Hall of Fame at one point for sure.
Question number 3.
From the 314, the Cards tell us that by making the playoffs in the Central Division proves that their way works. If they were in any other division, they would not make the playoffs nearly as often. So would their system still be working?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, the system is to make the playoffs. I don't care what friggin' division you're in. The system is make the playoffs and win World Series. How many World Series do the Cardinals have, Brad?
11.
Okay, who's ahead of them?
Yankees.
And who else?
Yankees.
Okay. So their system for a long time now, whether the NL Central existed, this, that, it doesn't matter, okay? It means they won World Series doing it in a number of different ways, a number of different divisions. So I don't think it's like, oh, they're just stuck on this NL Central stuff. And I think it's unfair for this year also to look at that already and say, oh, they just got squeaked by. I think Mo has done a couple things that have been uncharacteristic for himself. Anyways, maybe not the Cardinals, but for Mo, is he jumped out ahead of all of this stuff, signed a couple pitchers that he knew of, Gibby and Lance Lynn, and then went out and spent some serious cash on Sonny Gray. So I don't know if it's doing it the old NL Central way, Oh, Brad, what do you think?
I understand the point because the Cardinals roster right now, if you put them in the NL East, you'd probably be looking at them. It's like, well, they're third then, and maybe fourth even behind Miami at this point because you got to prove it, right?
Yeah.
Miami went on a push. They won 84 games last year. So I understand that, but I don't believe, and I'm not in on any of these team-building activities that the Cardinals are doing in the offseason, but I don't believe that they look at it and say, this should beat probably building forts and stuff.
No, what are they doing? I haven't heard about this.
What do you mean? No, I'm just talking about when they're building their roster, right?
Oh, I thought you had they had retreats that they'd already set up for
they're
the
not
guys.
going on.
I was like, oh my
they do
God.
trust falls. No,
catch
but when they're building, it's like, okay, well, I think this is good enough to sneak past. Milwaukee's rebuilding, and the Cubs haven't done anything yet except for overpay for a manager. I don't think that they're looking at it that way. They're looking to build as good of a team as they can. They're still looking to develop their ball club, but they're also still working under, whether we like it or not, they're working under financial restraints.
At the end of the day, we want to talk about the Dodgers. At the end of the day, we want to talk about the Dodgers being the best team in baseball. They've only won one World Series in the 21st century. And it was a COVID year.
It's a lot like the
Marcy
Dodgers.
put the asterisk on.
Totally agree.
You have to.
Fake championship.
Wow.
The Mickey Mouse ring.
Yeah, look at Clayton Kershaw. I did it. You're not a real boy. You didn't do it. You didn't do it.
My God, you guys are terrible.
Too soon. But it is like the Dodgers right now are kind of like the 90s Braves, where you looked at them and said, look at them. Like, they're so good. Braves, obviously, historically, one of the best pitching staffs ever. They're supposed to run through everything. They won one World Series during all of that. Just tells you how difficult it is. But giving them credit and giving the front office credit, all you can do is build as strong of a team as you can. They have to go play. They have to win games, and you will run into some bad luck. Happens.
Question number 4.
Kind of carrying this conversation forward, when you look at the Red Sox, they're a team, I call them a big market team.
Oh, yeah.
Why are they not spending as much money as you would think? Because they haven't really been relevant in the past few years.
So the Red Sox, when they traded off Mookie Betts, they shifted.
That was weird. That was almost like a tap out.
Guess what we're doing now? We're saving money. We're going to be under the cap, and we're not going to spend to these crazy levels. But we've also seen Boston over the years do this same thing where they've gone first place, last place, first place, last place. Now, I don't see a first place finish coming for them, but they still are a big market. But I think they're another good example of a group where everyone, I'm sure there, is saying it really kindly. It's like, well, I think they may have more money to spend, but they look at it and say, okay, well, this is where our limits are, our restraints are, and we're working within these parameters. But I don't have a good answer for why Boston goes all topsy-turvy, but they seem to have, at least over the last couple of years, had a plan, but the plan didn't work out in the last year. So.
Would you rather, and not so much you guys, but Cardinal fans, would you rather be a fan of that team who, will, like you said, Brad, they'll be a last place team, but then maybe 2 or 3 years they'll win the World Series, and then they'll go right back down, and then they'll 4 years later they'll win the World Series again? Would you rather be a part of that fan base, because they do have the money, probably more so than the Cardinals? They can spend and they don't. I wonder what their fans are thinking.
I'm sure they're frustrated at this point.
It's
even
a very
though this
forgiving fan base.
Well, yes, and this is a team since 07. They won 3 World Series during that time. And Cardinals obviously remember 2013, remember 04 as well. They won in 2018. So
don't pitch to them.
Oh, boy, you haven't seen my fastball. Big Poppy hit everything.
Don't pitch to him.
Nobody saw that coming with him at the least. But yeah, I think that I would rather have sustained success. But I will say with the Red Sox, going back to the point we had earlier, Marshy, about the divisions, they play in a tougher division. They play in a big market, so fluctuation is going to be a thing there.
Question number 5.
From the 636, what time do you break out the drinks on Christmas?
Oh, noon.
Noon.
Maybe in a mimosa with breakfast.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I guess it just kind of depends where the day goes. I would say if you're not hosting, if you're not hosting, I would say as soon as you get to the place that you're going. So maybe you're showing up if it's 11 that you get there, anybody here after 11, then it's 11.
Yeah.
If it's noon, then it's noon. But whenever you get to the new place, I love the mimosa idea. The question that I have for you, Jamie, a little follow-up is, how late do you go on Christmas Eve?
I don't know. Till I pass out.
Yeah, that ends up being a problem.
Does it?
Times. Yeah, because we don't put out our family presents beforehand. I know a lot of families like wrap the presents, have them under the tree.
Them and
stuff. Kids will get in there. We've got a 1-year-old puppy who eats furniture.
What could go wrong?
Right. What could go wrong? This dog is eating so much stuff, Jamie.
He's still eating the chairs?
Has eaten a couple of chairs. Has not gotten one recently.
Is it a dog or a beaver?
That's exactly what Chip said when I sent it. I showed him a picture of this chair. It was whittled down. It honestly looked like a pirate's leg out of a cartoon, just whittled down. So we don't do that. So at the night, we bring all of our presents downstairs.
And it's a nice surprise for the kids.
Dude.
They go to bed with only a few presents under. They wake up and it's like,
boom! Look what happened.
Yeah, I like that idea.
But boy, it's a dicey walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
I'm already a little nervous about this way. I just had knee surgery a couple days ago. Then a couple of drinks.
It's like Peter Griffin when he falls down the stairs.
I had 1 year. Not completely proud of it, however, it is a good story now, was when I was I was coaching the Central Hockey League team, so coaching minor pro hockey. And we had been on a road and come back, and there were certain family gifts that were not under the tree that I had been asked to, when I get home, because it would be late at night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, to put them out.
Yeah.
Put them under the tree, sign the little thing, because we didn't want any of the kids knowing what was theirs until it was time.
Yeah, you knew they'd dig into it.
Correct. And so I got back and had a couple cocktails and started watching something on TV and had a few more cocktails and ended up, then I'm going to write these things. And I had some of the gifts, like they're wrapped, but spread out in front of me, and I passed out. And I fell asleep. And I woke up to...
In the presents.
And
surprise.
Yeah. Then my ex-wife at the time, she comes down. Whoa, what's going on? I'm like, I'm wrapping presents. Yeah. And so we fixed it quickly.
You could have done this earlier.
Yeah.
While you were sleeping.
No, I didn't do that.
No, it was smart.
No,
now you should have.
But yeah, it happens, Brad.
Did your kids ever wake up and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning? They're like, Christmas. And you're like, not yet.
Dude, every year. Every year. So last year we started at like 4:30 in the morning.
Oh,
like they come in the room. It's like, it's time. Santa came. I'm like, okay, Santa's on it. How about that? And then we start early. There's no putting them back to bed. They're not just going to sit there.
They're amped up at that point.
So you just get the coffee going and let's roll.
Now, to the 2 o'clock in the morning thing, I do remember telling the kids, like, look, Santa's got a busy night. He's got to give gifts all over the world.
Yeah, you don't know when he's going to hit here.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, he may not have been here yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic for sure, but he has a window. We got to give the man a little bit of time.
And so I said, you know what? To be on the safe side, to make sure that Santa's been here.
10 a.m.
No, I say if there's daylight out, because we all know the Santa gets done before daylight. So tell the kids if they wake up.
Returns to stone.
And I don't know. That's not true.
Somebody different.
That was Medusa.
That's Medusa.
She would turn other people.
That's
other
people to
for sure.
Yeah, she wouldn't
maybe
get
Santa
stoned.
hangs out with her.
She wouldn't get stoned. Other people get stoned.
I don't know what she's into.
Either way, we used the dawn thing to be like, if you see light outside, then come wake us up because Santa's probably been here. If it's still dark out, there's a chance that Santa's still working.
I did see a documentary one time where he actually got caught in Central Park in New York, and his sleigh actually stopped working.
Yes.
And somehow, I don't know what happened.
I know what happened. People did not, for a time, and this has been rectified, did not have enough Christmas spirit.
Correct.
Which we all know the sleigh flies on. So keep that Christmas spirit up.
Everything operates on Christmas
and remember
spirit.
this. Right now, you're probably driving around, many of you, and you're doing last-minute things. And your Christmas spirit is being tested with all of the lines and the traffic. And you've said some words. You've said some things to other drivers. And they're bad words, and they're ones Santa didn't like. No, from here on out, let's do better. Let's be nice to people, even though last minute stuff stinks and everybody's in a rush. Just be nice. Have a little patience, and be safe out there.
Yeah.
This is your PSA from 101 ESPN.
All right, that's your sports 5-pack. We're going to have some fun here. We come back here in the Fast Lane at
Now we're gonna
101
do it, finally.
ESPN. We want to know what gift you would like from St. Louis's Santa. Right? Is that how we're doing this?
St. Louis's Santa?
What gift do you
like
want?
A sports
for
gift?
St. Louis?
Or any?
Marshy, how did you word this?
Yeah, St. Louis Santa. He's bringing gifts for everyone that's listening right now. There's sports gifts.
I'm going to expand it. It doesn't even have to be a sports gift. I don't even care. At this point, this is the last show before the holiday. You can text in to 314-399-9646 if there's a special gift you want for your sports teams here in St. Louis, or just any gift that you think is really fun that you'd like to have. We'll get into that, and there's mic drops, too.
Do the mic drop. That's fun.
It's
You've always
way
wanted to
better.
hear yourself on
Mic
the radio.
drop is way better.
You're stuck in traffic anyhow. You might as well listen to yourself.
100%. Hit the little microphone on the 101 ESPN mobile app. Leave us a mic drop, and we'll get to that when we come back here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers here. I want to talk to you about selling your home. If you're currently looking to sell your home, or maybe your home's been on the market for a little bit and it's not selling and you're not sure why, or you think that holiday time is a tough time to sell your home, you're not sure if you should list it or not, don't trust any average agent with that, and don't trust yourself with that. Trust the best in the business, and that's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And Gloria has some great options for you, and the one option I love is guaranteed sales. I mean, who wouldn't love a guaranteed sale, especially when you're selling your home? And all that is Gloria Liu sits down with the seller and agrees upon the sales price, and she sells your home for that price, or she buys it herself, and she puts all of that in handwriting, and she's very sure of this because she already has the buyers for you. Gloria has thousands of buyers in her database that are ready and able to purchase your home, driving up the price on that, maybe multiple offers. How about more money for you? And that's what everybody wants. So if you need to sell your home, you need to call Gloria Liu and tell her Jamie Rivers sent you, and you call her at 314-325-6888. Again, that number is 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaLiu.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree on sales price and possession date.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update. Brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues will be back in action tomorrow, taking on the Chicago Blackhawks, looking to pick up another win after they defeated the Florida Panthers 4-1 last night. Pregame starts at 6. Puck drop is at 7. You can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We talked with Chris Kerber earlier today, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com. You can check out all of our interviews and the full show. It's on our podcast page. You can also check it out on the free 101 mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have some football for you tomorrow, some bowl games, the Camellia Bowl and the Idaho Potato Bowl. That will be before the Blues game. And then on Sunday, we have NFL action, Vikings, Lions, Bucks and Jags, and Broncos and Patriots. Once again, if you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. I'm Andrew Marsh, and Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a fast lane here on 101 ESPN. We talk about the holiday season and presents and things like that. And we asked you, what do you want your gift to be from Santa Claus this year, whether sports related or not? Marshy, I know we got a mic drop to start us off here, so let's kick it off the right way.
Yeah, this one is from Mike.
Jamie, my man, for Christmas. I'm so glad you asked. Yeah, I want that elite 23-year-old left-handed defenseman.
Okay, all right.
A big stud that can skate like the wind, can see the ice. Yeah, I want that guy. Thanks.
Shifted quickly, honestly.
I had a different vision to start
so I'm
that.
like, oh, go ahead, because I think I got a similar one.
Yeah, I was thinking about a pitcher.
Me too.
For me, was a starting pitcher.
Absolutely,
That's my first thought
Jamie.
He said, that 23-year-old.
But shifted fast. I was going to ask you, and I'm sure the answer is yes on this, Jamie. Do you notice that everyone that gets you a gift, and this is, I'm not talking about like your family or anything, but if anybody ever gets you a gift, is it generally alcohol? Is it generally alcohol based? Because that's most of my gifts. Like, here's a bottle of this or a bottle of that, and then and I'm like, it's always something I'm really excited about. Like, people, you know me. You know me so well.
If someone gets me a gift, that was a shot.
No,
Okay,
it wasn't.
That was. It was.
No, not everybody has to like give gifts.
No,
and
you're
stuff.
like, if somebody ever got you a gift.
If somebody were to give you a gift, which they have not.
Yes. No, they haven't. But when they do, yes.
It's usually alcohol,
a lot
right?
Of alcohol, yeah.
A lot of bourbon.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
It's a beautiful thing. You can stock my bar instead of me. Every time I end up going to the liquor store, they're like, "Are you throwing a party?" I'm like, yeah.
Do you ever feel guilty? I roll up and buy a case of it, and they're like, "Well, I guess." I'm like, "No, that's just for me."
Yeah,
then I feel weird.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I make up parties.
I sometimes look and be like, "It's for me. Why?" And they're like, "No reason." Make me just feel weird for a minute,
you're fine.
But my friends over at Dirt Cheap, they don't care.
That's
they know
right.
what's going on.
That's right. No
they hook
shame.
me up.
All right, we have another mic drop from
Randy. My mic drop is for the Blues to go out and get somebody that can forecheck and stand in front of the net. We haven't had somebody that would stand in front of the net since David Backus, and there's too many goalies in this league that let up juicy rebounds. We see it every night. That's my wish for the St. Louis teams, to get a forward that will stand in front of the net and clean up the trash.
Jamie, where is that guy? Because the David
Ottawa
Backus
and Florida.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
David Backus would do that all the time. He would just stand there and he'd play a little game he liked to call just the tip. He would just boop.
Yeah.
boop.
Sometimes all you need is just a tip.
That's what I'm saying, and it would always go in.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal. But it takes some real bravery / stupidity to sit there in front of people shooting rockets at you. But when you're a team guy, that's what you do. You go to those crazy, uncomfortable spots to score, Jamie.
You got to get uncomfortable sometimes if you're going to score.
Sometimes you got to make it weird.
It's 100%.
And
Now,
he
I
did
do
that.
believe this. The Blues do have a couple of guys who are working on it. who are getting there. Like Oscar Sundqvist goes to
keep pushing.
No, but you know what? Sometimes just going in front of the net is actually a talent.
Yeah.
Like guys like Keith Tkachuk made an absolute killing being in front of the net. It's not just because he went there and stood there and hoped the puck hit him.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Oh no, there's
it's
a lot of skill involved. First of all, physicality to be able to get there because they don't.
100%.
The opposition doesn't want you there.
No, they don't. And it takes a talent to recognize when the puck's actually going to go there. Because you have to be an outlet for your teammates, whether they have to get the puck down low, cycle the puck. And then when it goes up higher to a spot, you have to recognize that there's a shot coming to the net. So there's hockey IQ as well as physical skill that's involved. And a couple of guys that have noticeably been to the front of the net here recently is Oscar Sundqvist, Jake Neighbors. Take a look at Jake Neighbors. Go back and look at the 10 goals he scored this year. I think there's only one that was off the rush or it was a breakaway. The rest of them are in and around within 7 feet of the net.
Those free goals, Jamie, they're there for everybody.
They are there, but there's a sacrifice that goes along with that. You will take a beating. You may get hit by a puck. It's not as easy as you think.
It'll be good on payday.
But I think Jake Neighbors could be that guy for us moving forward.
We got a text from the 314. Their wish is to make St. Louis the safest city in the country and make sure all the kids that might not be as fortunate as others get what's on their list to Santa and bourbon and wine for the folks that make that happen.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Well said. Well said. T-shirts should be available soon.
What was the 2 T-shirts that we came up with earlier? Or you had already?
Just get in.
You never know.
You never know.
Yeah, those are perfect.
Those are definitely good,
winners.
like stocking stuff.
You put that on a good T-shirt, okay? We're not talking about some beefy tee. Like you put that on a nice T-shirt.
The nice ones, yes. 100%.
All right, we have one more mic drop.
Not 100%
from,
cotton, just 100%.
No, just 100% good.
One more mic drop from Dylan.
My Christmas wish for this year for St. Louis sports is that your St. Louis Battlehawks will pack the Battle Dome each and every game, bring the electricity to the XFL, and have the same success as they had last year, and bring the house down.
He's been drinking.
I love it.
Good for Dylan.
Yeah.
He's in on
I mean,
it.
the Battlehawks may have missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
but
I think we should go a little better than last year. But I know what he meant. He meant like with the
packing
attendance.
the Battle Dome is going to be
That's a given.
That's going to happen.
We got people up in the the 400s.
That's a lot, though. I was there for Metallica, who packed the Battle Dome, and that was a lot.
Big.
It's a big place,
It's
man.
big.
Yeah, but I like where we're headed with that. Marcia, do we have one more, or are we done? We're good? All right, so that was your wish list for this year from Santa Claus for St. Louis, or anything else for that matter.
Somebody wants Stan Kroenke to have a heart attack.
Ooh. BT, why did you write that?
It was text in. 314-399-9646. I'm sorry, it wasn't just any heart attack. It was a massive and painful heart attack.
Someone else wanted an earthquake to happen over in that region.
Yeah.
But for everyone to be safe, of
course. Guys, both of those things are in play. When we come back, we've got fade or follow, what you miss, criticisms, compliments. We're going to wrap this puppy up with a bow on it. Christmas holiday season is here. Why not give the gift of accessories for vehicles? Head over to Pure Performance. They are the best in the business. And whether it's your vehicle or a loved one's vehicle, it doesn't matter what vehicle that you drive. Maybe it's a Jeep. All years, makes, and models, Pure Performance has you covered. How about one of those new Broncos? Man, they've got some great accessories. I talk about it all the time. I see a bunch of trucks over there at Pure Performance. A lot of Broncos that look incredible. A lot of Jeeps that look incredible. Pickup trucks, SUVs. I saw a minivan getting accessorized, and I didn't think I could wrap my brain around it. Pure Performance changed my mind because it looked awesome. And it's not just the big off-road tires that they sell either. They sell everyday tires for every single vehicle that's out on the road. And all you have to do is stop by their 25,000 square foot facility, walk in, ask for Shelby, tell her that Jamie Rivers sent you in. She's going to ask you what kind of vehicle you've got, what you're looking to do, point you in the right direction. They've got everything that you can imagine in there, and the technicians are the best in the business. So please stop by, say hi, or get there online. They got a great website. It's pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
It's time for FanDuel Fade or Follow on the Fast Lane.
Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Everyone follow us.
No fade, no fade.
Money, 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 money.
It's a Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. We're going to get into Fade or Follow in just a second with our guy Connor. But if you missed anything today here on the Fast Lane, it's pretty easy. And, man, we covered a lot of stuff from the Blues to the Cardinals. We had Santa's wish list. We had Chris Kerber on, the voice of the Blues. All you have to do is go to 101ESPN.com. You can download the podcast, or you can go to the mobile app and download the podcast. All that brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto. All right, Connor, we got you on the line here. How we doing today, bud?
Good. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, man. So last week you pushed, right? Or 2 weeks ago you pushed?
Correct. And then one last week.
Oh, nice. Good job, buddy. All right. So, BT, I'd put you in charge of finding us a game here. You got it?
Yeah, well, I got it. All right, here's what we're going to do. Okay, Christmas Day. You know, the NFL has taken over everything. And they're taking over Christmas as well. The big game that everybody, Connor, is looking forward to. It's the Ravens at San Francisco, at the Niners. The Niners are a 5.5-point favorite at home. That is a lot. I think it's too many.
Oh.
I'm taking Baltimore.
Okay.
We're taking Baltimore and the points. 5.5 points. Do you want to fade us or follow us with the Ravens getting 5.5 points?
Ooh, I am going to fade.
Wow. Going Niners.
He's going Niners.
With the 5.5 points.
Need to win by 6. All right. Best of luck.
All right, Connor. Best of luck, buddy. Have a great holiday. Relax. Enjoy some time with friends, family, or both, or whatever.
Be watching this game. Forget the
Enjoy
family.
watching that game as well.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
All right, that was Connor.
I was going to pick the Cowboys over the Dolphins, but you adamantly disagreed with that one earlier. Yeah.
It doesn't mean we couldn't pick it, you know? I mean, they don't have to listen to us.
I think the Cowboys stomped the Dolphins, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
In Miami?
Yep.
I don't know, man.
It's Dak's coming out party. As like a star.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's where they all come out, Miami.
It's a good point, although it's a road game, so Dak might not.
It's fine.
Will Levis did it.
Out party. Will Levis did it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dan Marino. Will Levis. He did it. All right, Marshy, I didn't know if we'd get to some criticisms or compliments. We've got a couple of minutes. What, you got anything for us?
Yeah, Robert from the Snake Pit says, Jamie in Spider-Man spandex on the animal rug by the fire singing Jingle Bells. Merry Christmas to all.
Just screams holidays right there.
Yeah, sure does.
It might happen. You never know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We get one from the 636. It's nice having you two back together, Jamie and BT. It's like listening to a couple of dudes on some bar stools at a bar talking sports.
That's the idea of the show. That's what we've always talked about, right? Like, that is the group. The biggest compliment I think we can get on this show is people say, hey, I would love to just have a beer with you guys. As long as you're buying, we're in.
100%. No, it is. That's kind of the point here. We do talk sports. We're serious about our opinions, but we like to have a good time, too. So thank you very much for that.
This one comes from FedEx Colton. Never laughed listening to 101 as much as I have today. The balloon party was hilarious, and these two clowns are hilarious together. Love it.
Yeah, it's not often that they leave us unsupervised.
Oh, you know it's the holidays, right? Nobody is around here. Nobody even checked off on this one. So BT's coming in with Jamie. Nobody looked at this for sure. So, yeah, thank you for that. And by the way, to FedEx Colton or FedEx anybody or UPS,
yes.
everybody is shopping online. All of our delivery drivers, I know that you're out there, you're listening right now. Hopefully, thank you so much. I do apologize if you showed up to my door and then 30 minutes later you were back at my door. That's not my fault. It's probably my wife. I did it.
Yeah.
There's a good chance I did it too. But thank you. We know how hard you're working. It's crazy job.
It is a crazy job. And we had that at my house one day. Amazon came like 3 different times, and then Amazon and FedEx literally passed each other in the walkway, almost like high-fiving each other. And I'm like, dang it. Then I did have a great moment with one of the Amazon drivers. It gave me a little notification. Bring your Amazon package.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll make my way over there. But he hadn't actually dropped the package off completely yet.
So you just stood there at the door?
I opened the door, and he was putting the package down. And I go, oh, hey, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it. Kind of looked at me. I just went in the house, closed the door. Like 10 minutes later, doorbell rings again. It's the Amazon driver.
New package?
No. He recognized me.
Yes.
He's like, hey, are you Jamie Rivers? I said, depends.
Oh, is that what it says on the package?
Like, do I owe you money? And he just said he's a huge blues fan.
Awesome.
And he had me sign his Amazon jacket.
That's too cool.
Yeah,
I love
it was pretty cool. I thanked him a lot for all the deliveries, and I actually gave him a card, too, and signed the card for him.
Yeah, you did.
All
Easier
right.
than cash.
BT in here. BT, thanks for being in, man.
Thank
Love you.
you.
Miss
Merry
you
Christmas.
tremendously. Merry Christmas. Marshy, thanks for all your work. And we in the Fast Lane and 101 ESPN want to wish all of you an incredible holiday, a great Christmas. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Take some time. Kick back. Relax. Have a bourbon. Have a water. Whatever it is. Merry Christmas.